Chapter 409. Hearing Duanmu Wan Er's words, Qingyun paused for a moment, but he didn't respond. Inside the appraisal room, seeing Qingyun walk away, Elder Xiao looked at Duanmu Wan Er with a puzzled expression and asked, Miss, although this young master has a large number of items, they are all ordinary items. It doesn't seem worth it for us to take all of them, does it? Elder Xiao, you've made a mistake this time. Hearing Elder Xiao's puzzled words, Duanmu Wan smiled slyly and said, compared to the value of these items, his favorable impression is the most valuable. Hearing Duanmu Wan Er's words, the puzzled expression on Elder Xiao's face became even more intense. The favorable impression of a Yuan Danstage Jr. was actually so valuable? Seeing Elder Xiao's puzzled expression, Duanmu Wan smiled faintly and didn't explain to him. Instead, she looked at Qingyun's back and smiled. He's actually unmoved by my beauty. What an interesting fellow. After leaving the appraisal room, Qingyun and Long Hanyin walked together towards the auction house. A moment later, Qingyun and Duanmu Wan arrived at the auction house. After arriving at the auction house, Qingyun showed the golden VIP token that Duanmu Wan had given him. Seeing Qingyun's VIP token, the auction house's receptionist immediately revealed a look of reverence. Following which, Qingyun was led by the receptionist in a VIP room number 9. When Qingyun and Duanmu Wan entered the VIP room, the auction had already begun. A piece of cyan armor was brought to the auction stage. This was an armor inlaid with crystals. These crystals formed a small array formation with each other. Seeing the armor being brought to the auction stage, the auctioneer immediately smiled and pointed at the armor. Ladies and gentlemen, this auction item is called the Luan Phoenix Raincoat. It is embedded with 99 wind profound spirit crystals and inscribed with a levitation spiritual array. After wearing this Luan Phoenix Raincoat, you will be able to soar in the sky like a wild goose. As soon as the auctioneer finished speaking, the auction house went into an uproar. Wearing this Luan Phoenix Raincoat allows one to fly. Doesn't this mean that with this raincoat, even Yuan Dan cultivators can fly? Wow, that's great, that's great. Young Master Chun, I want it. Can you buy this Luan Phoenix Raincoat for me? This Luan Phoenix Raincoat is not bad. I'll buy it and give it to Lian. I should be able to ride a horse with her. Cut the crap. Quickly state the starting price. This young master is determined to obtain this Luan Phoenix Raincoat. At this moment, the eyes of the hedonistic young masters in the auction house lit up. They couldn't wait any longer. Seeing everyone's reaction, the auctioneer revealed a brilliant smile. He smiled and said, since everyone is so impatient, I won't waste any more words. The starting price for this Luan Phoenix Raincoat is 100 million Spirit Essence Stones. Each bid must increase by at least 1 million Spirit Essence Stones. As soon as the auctioneer finished speaking, the auction house became quiet, and the sound of people gasping could be heard. A treasure armor that only had the ability to fly actually had a starting price of 100 million Spirit Essence Stones. This was simply too expensive. Damn, this is too much. A treasure armor that only has the ability to fly is actually being sold for 100 million Spirit Essence Stones. That's right. Why don't you just rob someone? 100 million Spirit Essence Stones can buy a decent profound weapon. I don't care if you buy it or not. In any case, I won't buy it. For a time, all sorts of dissatisfied words came out from the mouths of some people. A bunch of paupers. If you can't afford it, then don't waste your breath. Hearing the dissatisfied words of the crowd, a young man with a jade face and a golden crown coldly said. After saying these words of disdain, this young man revealed an arrogant expression. He smiled and said, I bid 110 million Spirit Essence Stones. Wow, that's Qin Chuan, the second young master of the Yintong Trading Company. No wonder he's so rich. Qin Chuan is so handsome. If I could become his woman, that would be great. Since Qin Chuan has spoken, I don't want to compete with him. At this moment, as soon as this young man spoke, the surrounding people immediately revealed excited expressions and began to voice their thoughts. Within VIP Room 9, Mo Qingyun looked at the Luan Phoenix raincoat on the auction stage. He faintly smiled and said, "This Luan Phoenix raincoat is pretty good. It's worth bidding for 120 million spirit essence stones." After saying this with a faint smile, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and opened his mouth to make a bid. Hearing Mo Qingyun bid, Qin Chuan's expression changed. He turned to look at VIP Room 9. He was a bit surprised. After everyone knew his identity, there was still someone who dared to compete with him. After a brief moment of surprise, Qin Chuan revealed a faint smile. He looked towards Mo Qingyun and said, "Friend, the value of this Luan Phoenix raincoat is 120 million yuan spirit stones, not 12 million yuan spirit stones. Are you sure you didn't hear wrong?" Hearing Qin Chuan's words, Mo Qingyun was stunned. He was a bit surprised by Qin Chuan's words. According to Qin Chuan's words, besides him, there was no one else in this world that could take out 120 million spirit essence stones. As Mo Qingyun was stunned, Qin Chuan smiled and said, "This young lord has saved you this time. Next time, don't be so impulsive. Otherwise, you'll suffer because you want to save face." Qin Chuan's tone was arrogant. After lecturing Mo Qingyun, he bid again, 130 million spirit essence stones. Hearing Qin Chuan's words, Mo Qingyun immediately smiled. This fellow really thought he was infallible. "I appreciate your good intentions, but I can still take out several 100 million spirit essence stones." Mo Qingyun faintly smiled. He didn't speak any further. Instead, he bid once more, 150 million spirit essence stones. The person in VIP Room 9 is so rich. He added 20 million spirit essence stones in one go. Does he plan on competing with Qin Chuan? Competing with Qin Chuan? Isn't he just asking to be humiliated? In this flame city, is there anyone richer than the Qin family? For a time, everyone was curious about the competition between Mo Qingyun and Qin Chuan. "You want to compete with me?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qin Chuan smiled. He playfully said, "If that's the case, then this young master will play with you a little. I hope you don't act too cowardly." 200 million spirit essence stones. Qin Chuan calmly said, 300 million spirit essence stones. Mo Qingyun bid again, his tone just as indifferent. "I didn't think you would have some capital." Qin Chuan taunted. Then he bid 500 million spirit essence stones, 1 billion spirit essence stones. Mo Qingyun lightly said, 1 billion spirit essence stones. As soon as Mo Qingyun's words left his mouth, the auction hall suddenly fell silent. Everyone looked towards VIP Room 9 with shock. To increase the price by 500 million spirit essence stones, this action was far too fierce. Hearing Mo Qingyun's bid, the previously arrogant Qin Chuan immediately shut his mouth. 1 billion spirit essence stones had already surpassed his bottom line. Although he was a direct descendant of the Qin family, as a hedonistic young master, the amount of money he could use was limited. Seeing Qin Chuan no longer bid, Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile. He said to Qin Chuan, "Young Master Qin Chuan, are you satisfied with my performance?" "You." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qin Chuan was immediately enraged. He glared at VIP Room 9, no longer speaking. Chapter 410. After Qin Chuan withdrew from the competition, Missouri Qingyun won the Luan Phoenix raincoat with a price of 1 billion spirit essence stones. Seeing the Luan Phoenix raincoat being won by Mo Qingyun, everyone in the auction house sighed in their hearts. Even the second young master of the Yintong Trading Company, Qin Chuan, wasn't able to compete with Mo Qingyun. This situation was too unexpected. Who is the person in VIP Room 9? He's so rich that even Qin Chuan isn't his match. He should be a direct descendant of some large family. In Yin capital, the only people who have more wealth than Qin Chuan are those people. That's true. After all, Qin Chuan is only a playboy. If it was his big brother Qin Hao, then the result might have been different. At this moment, everyone was curious about Mo Qingyun's identity. Just as the crowd was feeling curious, another auction item was placed on the auction stage. Seeing another auction item being brought onto the stage, everyone's attention shifted from Mo Qingyun to the auction item. This auction item was a top-grade, profound-grade nether iron scarlet gold saber. The starting price was 30 million spirit essence stones. Mo Qingyun wasn't interested in this sort of thing. After a simple glance, Mo Qingyun shifted his gaze away from the nether iron scarlet gold saber. However, although Mo Qingyun wasn't paying attention, there were some small family clans in the auction house that coveted the nether iron scarlet gold saber. At this moment, while everyone was competing for the nether iron scarlet flame saber, the Luan Phoenix raincoat was brought to Mo Qingyun's room. Seeing the Luan Phoenix raincoat being brought in, Mo Qingyun took out 1 billion spirit essence stones to pay for the Luan Phoenix raincoat. Try it on. After receiving the Luan Phoenix raincoat, Mo Qingyun smiled and placed it in Long Hanyun's hands. You're giving it to me? Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Long Hanyun blushed and revealed a pleasantly surprised expression. Then, Long Hanyun put on the Luan Foam raincoat shyly. Once she put on the Luan Phoenix raincoat, Long Hanyun immediately became like a colorful phoenix. Her colorful wings fluttered, and she was incomparably agile. Very nice. Looking at Long Hanyun, who was wearing the raincoat, Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile and praised Long Hanyun. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Long Hanyun revealed a sweet smile, her heart filled with joy. After that, Mo Qingyun and Long Hanyun chatted and laughed as they looked at the auction items. As time went by, one item after another was auctioned off by the auctioneers. As the items were auctioned off one by one, the atmosphere in the auction house reached its peak. At this time, a high-grade mysterious grade flood dragon scale armor was won by a large blue-faced man for 400 million spirit essence stones. As this flood dragon scale armor was auctioned off, another item was brought up. This was a tea set made from dragon blood purple jade. Grandfather usually loves to drink tea. If we give this dragon blood purple jade tea set to him, he should be very happy. As soon as Long Hanyun saw the dragon blood purple jade tea set on the auction stage, her eyes immediately brightened, and she spoke in pleasant surprise. Since it's like this, let's bid for this dragon blood purple jade tea set. 190 million spirit essence stones. Hearing Long Hanyun's words, Mo Qingyun revealed a faint smile and opened his mouth to bid once more. As Mo Qingyun opened his mouth to bid, the expressions of everyone in the auction house immediately changed. They all looked towards VIP room number 9. During this time, Mo Qingyun, who hadn't made a move at all, actually bid once more. It seemed that Mo Qingyun was very interested in the Dragon Blood Purple Jade tea set. At this moment, everyone's hearts were filled with anticipation towards Mo Qingyun. 200 million. Seeing Mo Qingyun bid once more, Qin Chuan, who had lost Mo Qingyun before, gloomily bid. From his actions, it seemed that he planned to compete with Mo Qingyun for the Dragon Blood Purple Jade tea set once more. After bidding, Qin Chuan revealed a dark smile. He said to himself, "Humph, this young master doesn't believe that you still have 1 billion spirit essence stones on you." As Qin Chuan was deep in thought, the surrounding people revealed looks of surprise once more. They unconsciously looked towards Qin Chuan. Qin Chuan and Mo Qingyun were once again at odds. Who would win this time? Everyone's faces were filled with curiosity. They looked forward to the result of the competition between Mo Qingyun and Qin Chuan. There's going to be a good show. Qin Chuan and the person in VIP room number 9 are at odds again. I wonder who will win this time? Qin Chuan's chances of winning should be higher. After all, the person in VIP room number 9 has already spent 1 billion spirit essence stones. I don't think so. Don't forget, those who can stay in VIP rooms aren't simple existences. Those words aren't false. The people in the other VIP rooms haven't bid yet. They should be here for the finale item. For a time, everyone was whispering amongst themselves. As everyone was whispering, Mo Qingyun indifferently looked at Qin Chuan. He calmly said, 300 million spirit essence stones. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Qin Chuan's complexion darkened. He clenched his teeth and said, 500 million spirit essence stones. 1 billion spirit essence stones. Just as Qin Chuan's words fell, Mo Qingyun followed suit with an indifferent expression. 1 billion spirit essence stones. As Mo Qingyun's words fell, Qin Chuan felt as if his heart had been struck by a hammer. His face unconsciously twitched. Mo Qingyun had bid another billion spirit essence stones. This had once again surpassed his limit, making it impossible for him to continue bidding. In a single day, he had actually lost to Mo Qingyun twice in a row in the bidding process. To Qin Chuan, this was a great humiliation. It was something that he could not accept no matter what. Sir Qin, do you want to continue bidding? At this time, as Qin Chuan was fuming with anger, the auctioneer smiled and asked Qin Chuan a question. Hearing the auctioneer's words, Qin Chuan's face twitched. His complexion became even uglier. He coldly said, "Auctioneer, I would like to ask you something. During the bidding process, if someone bids a price and then can't produce the corresponding amount of spirit essence stones, what will happen?" Hearing Qin Chuan's words, the auctioneer's complexion became serious. He indifferently said, "If that is the case, then he will have to compensate our auction house for all losses. If he is unable to do so, then we can only use our own methods to punish him." As he spoke to hear, the auctioneer's body emitted a cold aura, causing everyone to involuntarily revere him. This ordinary-looking auctioneer was actually a Heaven Dipper second-stage powerhouse. This scene was truly unexpected. Very good. Hearing the auctioneer's words, Qin Chuan's complexion became even more gloomy. He pointed to VIP room 9 and sneered. "Now, I suspect that the person in VIP room 9 doesn't have the ability to pay for the Dragon Blood Purple JT set. Auctioneer, I hope you can investigate." As soon as Qin Chuan's words left his mouth, everyone's expression changed. They were somewhat shocked by Qin Chuan's words. Soon after, everyone revealed looks of anticipation. They all looked towards the auctioneer, waiting for the auction house to handle this. Chapter 411. Soon, the auctioneer arrived at VIP room 9. He wanted to verify whether or not Mo Qingyun had enough elemental holy stones. Just as the auctioneer was about to enter Mo Qingyun's room, the enchanting Duanmu Wan-er walked over with a faint smile on her face. Li Chenghua greets Miss Wan-er. Seeing Duanmu Wan-er approach, the auctioneer's expression became respectful, and he bowed to her. No need for formalities. Duanmu Wan-er waved her hand at the auctioneer's actions. She asked with a puzzled expression, "Li Chenghua, what are you doing here in Mr. Mo's room instead of hosting the auction downstairs?" Miss Wan-er, just now, the second young master of the Yintong Trading Company, suspected that young Master Huang's financial resources couldn't support the item he just bid on. "So, I came to verify it." Li Chenghua bowed slightly and reported truthfully to Duanmu Wan-er. "Checking Mo Qingyun's financial resources?" Duanmu Wan-er's expression froze when she heard Li Chenghua's words. She didn't expect this. After a brief moment of shock, Duanmu Wan-er asked curiously, "Did someone suspect that Mr. Mo didn't have enough elemental holy stones to bid on something?" Just now, Mr. Mo competed with young Master Qin Chuan for a Dragon Blood Purple JT set. He bid 1 billion elemental holy stones. Young Master Qin Chuan suspected that he couldn't pay enough, Li Chenghua said. 1 billion elemental holy stones. Hearing the auctioneer's words, Duanmu Wan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She didn't know what to say. The reason she came to look for Mo Qingyun was to hand over the 30 billion spirit essence stones that Mo Qingyun had just obtained from selling the items. She didn't expect that Mo Qingyun's financial resources would be doubted because of 1 billion elemental holy stones. Duanmu Wan didn't know whether to laugh or cry at this result. Miss Wan-er, could it be that Mr. Mo really can't pay the elemental holy stones? Seeing Duanmu Wan-er's expression, Li Chenghua's expression immediately changed. He probed Duanmu Wan-er. "He really can't pay?" The bitter smile on Duanmu Wan-er's face immediately deepened. She waved her hand at Li Chenghua and said, "You can leave now. There's no need to doubt Mr. Mo's wealth." But In Tong Trading Company's second young master, seeing Duanmu Wan Er's actions, Li Changhua revealed an awkward expression. He looked at Duanmu Wan Er with a pleading expression. Hearing Li Chenghua's words, Duanmu Wan Er opened the Qinquan bag in her hands. She said to Li Changhua, "There are over 30 billion spirit essence stones in here. They were obtained from Mr. Mo's sale of items. It's best that you keep this to yourself. After you leave, don't speak of it to anyone else." 30 billion spirit essence stones. Looking at the mountain of spirit essence stones in the universe bag, Li Chenghua's heart immediately trembled. He was filled with awe towards Mo Qingyun. Although Li Changhua was a heavenly dipper powerhouse, it was impossible for him to take out over 30 billion spirit essence stones all at once. This subordinate will take his leave. Immediately after, Li Changhua no longer hesitated and turned to return to the auction stage. At this moment, Li Changhua rejoiced in his heart. He sighed inwardly. It was a good thing that Duanmu Wan had arrived early. Otherwise, if he had entered Mo Qingyun's room and questioned Mo Qingyun's financial resources, he would have provoked Mo Qingyun's displeasure. If that was the case, one could easily imagine what would happen to him. It would definitely not be good. Just think about it. The second young master of a banking company who couldn't even take out 1 billion spirit essence stones wasn't someone he could afford to provoke. Now he had gone to provoke someone who could take out 30 billion spirit essence stones. To put it bluntly, he was seeking death. Thinking of this, Li Chenghua's back unconsciously broke out in a cold sweat. Thank goodness Miss Wan arrived in time. Li Changhua revealed a look of fear. He rejoiced in his heart and took deep breaths. A moment later, Li Changhua returned to the auction stage. Seeing Li Changhua return, Qin Chuan revealed a smug sneer. He asked Li Changhua, "Auctioneer, that boy doesn't have 1 billion spirit essence stones on him, right? Not 1 billion?" Hearing Qin Chuan's words, Li Changhua immediately revealed an expression as if he was looking at an idiot. He looked at Qin Chuan with disdain and said, "Young Master Qin Chuan, that Mr. Mo has far more spirit essence stones than 1 billion spirit essence stones. Therefore, you don't need to doubt this point. How is this possible? How can an unknown boy have such wealth?" Hearing Li Chenghua's reply, Qin Chuan's face immediately revealed a crazed look as he uttered words that were difficult to accept. After uttering these words, Qin Chuan's face darkened. He pointed at Li Changhua and said, "Yes, your auction house must be covering for him and deliberately hiding the number of spirit essence stones he has." When he heard Qin Chuan's words, Li Chenghua's gaze was filled with mockery. This Qin Chuan was really an idiot for thinking this way. Looking at Qin Chuan with disdain, Li Changhua revealed a displeased expression and said, "Young Master Qin Chuan, please mind your words. If you continue to speak like this, I will have to order someone to kick you out of the auction house." Hearing Li Chenghua's words, Qin Chuan's face revealed a look of reverence. He did not dare to continue speaking. Seeing Qin Chuan shut his mouth, Li Chenghua's expression turned for the better. He coldly asked, "Young Master Qin Chuan, do you still want to continue raising the price? If you don't continue to raise the price, this dragon blood purple jade tea set will be Mr. Mo's." Hearing Li Chenghua's words, Qin Chuan's face immediately flushed red. He gritted his teeth and said, "I won't raise the price." Seeing that Qin Chuan had given up, Li Chenghua's expression turned solemn as he said in a low voice, "If that's the case, this dragon blood purple jade tea set will go to Mr. Mo in VIP room number 9. At this moment, after Li Chenghua's words, the expressions of the people in the auction house immediately became complicated. They did not expect this to be the outcome. The second young master of the Yin Tong Trading Company, Qin Chuan, had actually lost to the person in VIP room number 9 twice in a row in a competition of wealth. At this moment, while everyone was sighing in their hearts, Duanmu Wan walked into VIP room number 9. Duanmu Wan walked into VIP room number 9 with a charming smile on her face. She smiled sweetly at Mo Qingyun and said, "Mr. Mo, here are 32 billion elemental spirit stones. That's the value of the items you just sold. You can count them." As soon as Duanmu Wan finished speaking, She tossed the heaven-earth pouch in her hands to Mo Qingyun. "Thank you for your trouble, Miss Duanmu." Mo Qingyun took the heaven-earth pouch from Duanmu, Wan Er's hands, and scanned it briefly before putting it away. At this moment, when Mo Qingyun put away the heaven-earth pouch, the dragon blood purple jade tea set was brought up. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun took out the heaven-earth pouch and paid for the dragon blood purple jade tea set. Soon after, Mo Qingyun did not plan to stay any longer. He said to Long Han Yin, let's go. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was about to leave, Duanmu Wan smiled sweetly and said, "Mr. Mo, that's the final item. Don't you want to take a look before you leave?" Thump, thump, thump. At this moment, just as Duanmu Wan finished speaking, Mo Qingyun's eyes began to twitch rapidly. Chapter 412. After this discovery, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately changed. He looked at the auction stage with a serious expression. He saw that a giant purple palm had been brought onto the auction stage. Sensing the purple palm, Mo Qingyun discovered that there was an obscure aura emanating from it. It seemed powerful, but it also seemed ordinary. It gave people a very mysterious feeling. Of course, what shocked Mo Qingyun the most was that the purple palm gave him a familiar and intimate feeling. Could this palm be? After this discovery, Mo Qingyun's expression changed. He guessed the origin of this giant purple palm. This is the previous owner's torso, the arm. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun was guessing the origin of the giant purple palm, the 9 temples in the Soul Palace said to Mo Qingyun in an excited tone, "Young lord, you must get this arm. If you refine this arm, your Tianhun bloodline will definitely become even purer." Mr. Mo, this mysterious palm was obtained by an expert in a mysterious space. It is said to be the torso of an expert from the outside world. If you can refine it, the benefits will be endless. When the 9 temples transmitted to Mo Qingyun, Duanmu smiled faintly and said to Mo Qingyun. Hearing Duanmu Wan words, Mo Qingyun nodded with an indifferent expression. Then, Mo Qingyun pulled Long Han back to their seats and sat down. Seeing Mo Qingyun sit down, Long Han didn't say much. She quietly sat down beside him and looked curiously at the giant purple palm. While Mo Qingyun and Duanmu Wan were sizing up the giant purple palm, the auctioneer Li Changhua began to flatter the origin of the giant purple palm. I'm sure everyone is curious about the origin of this giant purple palm. At this point, Li Changhua paused to whet everyone's appetite. He continued, "This giant purple palm was obtained by an expert from the continent in a mysterious space in the continent turbulence. It is said to be the torso of an expert from the outside world. At this point, everyone should understand the value of this giant purple palm. It's the torso of an expert from the outside world. No wonder this giant purple palm is so mysterious. It's just that the cultivation of an expert from the outside world is different from ours. Even if we get his palm, we can't refine it." "That's true. In that case, even if we get this giant purple palm, it can only be a collector's item." Looking at everyone's expression, they didn't seem interested in the giant purple palm. Seeing this scene, Li Chenghua's expression changed slightly. After thinking for a while, he said, "Everyone, do you remember how the Iron-Foot Demon King became famous more than 700 years ago?" As soon as Li Chenghua's words came out, everyone's expression changed greatly. Each and every one of them became extremely excited. The Iron-Foot Demon King. It said that his left foot is incomparably hard. Even a top-grade spirit artifact can't harm it. The Iron-Foot Demon King doesn't cultivate origin energy. He only refines his left foot so that his strength can contend with a transcendent realm powerhouse. This was widely spread by others. Could the origin of this giant purple palm be related to the Iron-Foot Demon King's foot? At this moment, everyone's curiosity was piqued by Li Chenghua's words. Seeing this, Li Chenghua's face lit up with joy. He had achieved the effect he wanted. Seeing this, Li Chenghua struck while the iron was hot. He lightly smiled and said, "Since it's like this, I won't waste any more words. The starting bid for this giant purple palm is 1 billion spirit essence stones. Each bid must be no less than 100 million spirit essence stones. What? A starting bid of 1 billion spirit essence stones? Isn't that too expensive? Hearing Li Chenghua's bid, some people in the auction house immediately voiced their dissatisfaction. Hearing this person's words, Li Chenghua faintly smiled and responded, "Everyone, think about it. If you were to obtain this palm and become the future Iron Foot Demon King, would you still think that 1 billion spirit essence stones is expensive?" As Li Chenghua spoke, everyone fell silent. Each of them had their own ulterior motives as they pondered over Li Chenghua's words. Li Chenghua's words weren't false. Spending a few billion spirit essence stones to become an existence like the Iron Foot Demon King was absolutely worth it. After a brief moment of silence, someone broke the silence. "Auctioneer, if this palm is only an appearance and can't help us become an existence like the Iron Foot Demon King, then wouldn't we suffer a great loss if we bought it?" "That's right. If I'm not wrong, then before this palm was auctioned off, someone must have studied it for a long time. If they weren't able to figure out its origin or use, then they would have taken it out for auction. If so, then its value would be up for debate." Another person said. Hearing these two people's words of concern, Li Chenghua still had a faint smile on his face. He said, "Everyone, let me ask you something. If there really was a 100% certainty that it could allow someone to become an existence like the Iron Foot Demon King, then do you think that this giant purple palm would be put up for auction?" As Li Chenghua's words fell, the auction house fell silent once more. Everyone looked at each other in dismay. They couldn't refute Li Chenghua's words. If this were true, then it really wouldn't have been put up for auction. Seeing everyone fall silent, Li Chenghua faintly smiled. He said, "Everyone, to spend a mere billion spirit essence stones to buy a chance to become an existence like Iron Foot Demon King. This investment is well worth it. This sort of opportunity is also extremely rare. That's right, you can't trap a wolf without risking a child. I bid 1 billion spirit essence stones." Hearing Li Chenghua's words, someone immediately began to bid. "I bid 1 billion. I bid 2 billion. Following that, one person started to bid, and the people behind him also started to bid endlessly. Before long, the price of this giant purple palm had risen to over 5 billion spirit essence stones. At this time, the speed at which the giant purple palm's price rose also began to slow down. At this time, as everyone was waiting for the next person to bid, the person in VIP room 3 said in a low voice, 6 billion spirit essence stones. As soon as the words left his mouth, the auction hall fell silent. A sudden increase of several 100 million spirit essence stones was already beyond the scope of what some ordinary families could bear. "Lung Wuya, I didn't think that you would personally come." At this time, as everyone was shocked by the person in VIP room 3's bid, the person in VIP room 1 smiled and said, "This is also good. Otherwise, this auction will be too boring." As this person's words fell, he smiled and said, 7 billion spirit essence stones. 7 billion spirit essence stones. A sudden increase of 1 billion spirit essence stones. The auction house was shocked by this scene. Of course, what shocked everyone even more was the identity of the person in VIP room 3. Lung Wuya, the current head of the Lung family. They didn't think that the person in VIP room 3 was actually the head of the Lung family. Humph. Yi Jingtian, with your Yi family's relationship with the Burning Sky Hall, you actually came to participate in this auction. Hearing the words of the person in VIP room 1, Lung Wuya sneered and said, 8 billion spirit essence stones. The Yi family and the Lung family are both here. That means that the people in the other VIP rooms should be from the various large families of Flame Capital. Chapter 413. 10 billion elemental spirit stones. As soon as Mo Qingyun's words came out, the entire auction house fell silent. At this moment, everyone's hearts were filled with shock. They couldn't believe that this was true. Just now, The person in VIP room 9 was suspected by Qin Chuan of not even being able to take out 1 billion elemental spirit stones. Now, he had actually bid 10 billion. This scene was too shocking. It was beyond everyone's expectations. Of course, while everyone was shocked, they were also filled with disdain towards Qin Chuan. Didn't you suspect that he couldn't even take out 1 billion elemental spirit stones? Now, he had bid 10 billion elemental spirit stones. Moreover, this was after being verified by the auctioneer. This meant that the person in VIP room 9 did indeed have the wealth of 10 billion elemental spirit stones. Such an outcome was truly ironic. How is this possible? How could he have such wealth? Hearing Mo Qingyun's bid, Qin Chuan's face immediately turned ugly. He couldn't believe this was true. A nameless brat actually had such wealth. This result was hard for him to accept. Why does the voice in VIP room number 9 sound so familiar? In VIP room 1, Yi Jinglei heard Mo Qingyun's words and was stunned for a moment. Then he smiled and said, "So it's that little fellow. If I'm not wrong, then the elemental spirit stones on him should be the Liu family's many years of savings." In Yi Jinglei's opinion, if Mo Qingyun could take out 10 billion elemental spirit stones, then he should have looted the Liu family. Second brother, the little fella you're talking about, could it be Mo Qingyun? Yi Jingtian asked in surprise. Yi Jinglei nodded. In VIP room 3. Humph. Mo Qingyun actually has such wealth. Leng Hui heard Mo Qingyun's words and immediately spat out these gloomy words. "Oh, that brat is Mo Qingyun." Hearing Leng Hui's words, Leng Wuya was slightly stunned. Soon after, he sneered and said, "If I'm not mistaken, that kid's elemental holy rock should be from the Liu family. This amount of elemental holy rock is not enough to compete with us." The brat in VIP room number 9, to be able to make Kai Chuan suffer a loss just now, you do indeed have some wealth. In VIP room number 2, several elders were shocked when they heard Mo Qingyun's bid. As for the people in the other VIP rooms, they had similar thoughts at this moment. After a short period of silence in the auction house, the people in VIP room 2 were the first to break the silence. An old man said in a deep voice, 11 billion, 12 billion. Leng Wuya said coldly after they entered the second VIP room, 13 billion. Yi Jingtian smiled faintly and started a bid. 13, 1 billion. 13, 2 billion. 13, 5 billion. At this time, the people in the other VIP rooms also started bidding. Following that, the people in the various VIP rooms began to crazily bid. Under the frenzied bidding, the price of the giant purple palm rose rapidly. 30 billion. Around 15 minutes later, an indifferent voice entered the ears of the crowd. The person who bid 30 billion was none other than Mo Qingyun, who was in VIP room 9. 30 billion, raising the price by 5 billion. Hearing Mo Qingyun's bid, the auction house fell silent instantly. At this moment, everyone was shocked by Mo Qingyun's actions. 30 billion. Mo Qingyun actually bid 30 billion. Hearing Mo Qingyun's bid and thinking of Qin Chuan's actions, the people in the auction house despised Qin Chuan even more. 30 billion. Hearing the bid of 30 billion, Qin Chuan's expression immediately twitched. He was really shocked. It's already 30 billion. Hearing Mo Qingyun's bid, Yi Jingtian was shocked and said, "With the Liu family's wealth, 10 billion should be their limit. Did they miss something?" At this moment, Yi Jingtian's heart was filled with confusion. Mo Qingyun's performance had completely exceeded his expectations. After a short moment of shock, Yi Jingtian smiled faintly and continued to bid 31 billion. 30 billion? Where did this kid come from? How could he have such wealth? Leng Wuya's face turned gloomy. He frowned and said to himself, "I underestimated this kid. However, 30 billion elemental spirit stones is still not enough to win against the Leng family." After saying that, Leng Wei didn't hesitate and immediately bid 5 billion. That kid actually bid 30 billion. I didn't expect there to be such a competitor in this competition. The person in the second VIP room came out with a gloomy face. He gritted his teeth and said, "Humph. If they want to compete with our Tong Trading Company in terms of wealth, even the Lung family and Yi family will not be able to do so. Also, our Qin family must obtain this purple giant palm. This is the best opportunity for our Qin family to become the sixth power in Yin capital." After saying those words coldly, the person in VIP room 2 also made a bid, 32 billion. As for the people in the other VIP rooms, because they didn't have enough wealth, they had already withdrawn from the competition. Next, Mo Qingyun and the rest madly raised the price again, competing with each other for the giant purple palm. After a while, the price of the giant purple palm had been raised to 45 billion. At this moment, the range of Mo Qingyun and the rest bids had decreased. They were only increasing by 100 million. It seemed like this price was reaching everyone's limit. I only have 50 billion on me. If this continues, I might not be able to get the giant purple palm. Looking at the constantly increasing price, Mo Qingyun frowned. He was a little worried that he didn't have enough elemental holy rock. After thinking for a while, Mo Qingyun's face became serious. He looked at Duanmu Wan and said, "Miss Duanmu, if I don't have enough elemental holy rock on me later, can I give you some items? You can pay me a portion of the elemental holy rock first. If it was someone else, I wouldn't be able to do that. It's too unfair to others." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Duanmu Wan eyebrows twitched as she spoke in a difficult tone. She then smiled tenderly and said, "However, if it's you, Big Brother Yun, then it's completely different. If Big Brother Yin wants to fight for this giant purple palm, then this little sister will naturally do her best to help you." "Thank you." Hearing Duanmu Wan's words, Mo Qingyun revealed a grateful expression and thanked her. At this moment, when Mo Qingyun asked Duanmu Wan, Yi Jingtian laughed loudly and said to Mo Qingyun, "Ha ha, little friend Mo, since you're determined to get this purple palm, I won't fight with you." "Thank you, King Yin." Hearing Yi Jingtian's words, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and thanked Yi Jingtian. "Calling me King Yin is too formal. You and we are good friends. Just call me Uncle Yi." Yi Jingtian laughed heartily in response to Mo Qingyun's words. He had misspoken. "Many thanks, Uncle Yi." Mo Qingyun chuckled when he heard this. "Oomph, kid, it's too early for you to be happy. Do you think you can get the giant purple palm without Yi Jingtian's competition?" Chapter 414. 46 billion. Lung Weia didn't hesitate any longer. He called out his bid once more. 5 billion. After Lung Weia called out his bid, the Qin family members in the second VIP room also called out their bids. 47 billion. Mo Qingyun ignored Lung Wuyu's words and called out his bid once more. Then, Mo Qingyun, the Lung family, and the Qin family all called out their bids. As Mo Qingyun and the others continued to raise the bid, the price of the giant purple palm began to rise once more. Before long, the price of the giant purple palm broke through the 50 billion mark. 50 billion spirit essence stones. Seeing the price of the giant purple palm reach 50 billion, everyone in the auction house was shocked. This price was enough to frighten many people. At this time, as everyone was shocked by the price of 50 billion, within the 9th VIP room, Mo Qingyun took out a pile of water profound ores and smiled at Duanmu Wan. "Miss Wan, here are 100,000 pieces of water profound ores. They are worth around 100 billion spirit essence stones. I asked Miss Wan to give me 100 billion spirit essence stones in advance. 100,000 pieces of water profound ores." Seeing the mountain of water profound ores, Duanmu Wan was shocked. She was shocked by Mo Qingyun's actions. She didn't think that Mo Qingyun would really take out something to give her in advance of spirit essence stones. Moreover, the items that Mo Qingyun took out were extremely rare profound ores. Looking at the mountain of profound ores, Duanmu Wan couldn't help but admit that she was shocked by Mo Qingyun's actions. After a brief moment of shock, Duanmu Warner smiled. She took out a universe bag and handed it to Mo Qingyun. Big brother Yun, here are 10 million core essence crystals. That is equivalent to 100 billion spirit essence stones. Please check. Thank you. Taking the Chinquan pouch from Duanmu, Mo Qingyun smiled and thanked her. With this 100 billion spirit essence stones, you would have more confidence in competing for the giant purple palm. 53 billion spirit essence stones. 2 billion spirit essence stones. While Mo Qingyun was exchanging for core essence crystals, the people from the Lung family and the Qin family were still bidding against each other. However, the two families seemed to have reached a consensus and slowed down their bidding. Looking at their appearance, it seemed that they were stalling for time, taking advantage of this time to gather spirit essence stones. It seems like the Lung family and the Qin family have reached a limit in terms of the amount of elemental holy stones they have. Seeing the actions of the Lung family and Qin family, Mo Qingyun faintly smiled. He pondered for a moment and then bid once more 60 billion spirit essence stones. As soon as Mo Qingyun spoke, the people from the Lung family and the Qin family immediately fell silent. They didn't make any offers for a long time. Inside VIP room 3. How could this be? How could this boy have so many spirit essence stones on him? Hearing Mo Qingyun's bid, Lung Wuya's complexion darkened. He coldly said, "Could it be that this boy's identity isn't as simple as it seems? Otherwise, with his background as a small kingdom's family, even if he plundered the Lu family's wealth, it would still be impossible for him to have so many spirit essence stones." At this moment, a strong sense of confusion rose up in Lung Wuya's heart. Hearing Lung Wuya's words, Lung Wanhai's complexion darkened. He said, "Patriarch, with my Lung family's financial resources, if we bid with everything we have, it won't be difficult to obtain this giant purple palm. I don't believe that boy's financial resources surpass our Lung family's." "No need." Hearing Lung Wanhai's words, Lung Wuya's complexion darkened. He lifted a hand to stop Lung Wanhai and said, "From the current situation, if we want to obtain this giant purple palm, we need at least 100 billion spirit essence stones. But we don't know what this giant purple palm is for. Using 100 billion spirit essence stones to gamble on the unknown isn't worth it." "Yes." Hearing Lung Wuya's words, Lung Wanhai immediately nodded, no longer saying anything. In VIP room 3, the other Lung family members all nodded in agreement as they heard Lung Wuya's words. Now, as the Lung family withdrew from the competition, the Lung family in VIP room 2 continued to bid. 65 billion, 61 billion. After the Qin clan's people bid, Mo Qingyun followed suit. 61.5 billion, 62 billion. Mo Qingyun and the Qin family continued to bid, continuing to compete for this giant purple palm. Between the two sides, the price of the giant purple palm finally broke through 100 billion spirit essence stones. 100 billion spirit essence stones. As this bid of 100 billion spirit essence stones sounded out from VIP room 9, everyone in the auction house was shocked. They never thought that the person in VIP room 9 would be wealthy to such a degree. The more everyone was shocked by Mo Qingyun's wealth, the more disdain they felt towards Qin Chuan. Qin Chuan actually doubted that someone who could take out 100 billion spirit essence stones wouldn't be able to pay 1 billion spirit essence stones. This was just too ridiculous. How is this possible? How could this brat be so rich? At this moment, Qin Chuan, who was sitting in the middle of the crowd, immediately paled. At this moment, he faintly felt that he had provoked a terrifying existence. 101 billion spirit essence stones. As everyone was shocked, the Qin family members in VIP room 2 gloomily shouted out their bids. For this giant purple palm, their Qin family had prepared 100 billion spirit essence stones. They were determined to obtain this giant purple palm no matter what. They never imagined that after all the great families withdrew, someone would suddenly appear out of nowhere and ruin their original plans. When they thought of this, the members of the Qin clan in VIP room number 2 started to hate Mo Qingyun to the bone. 101 billion. After the Qin family members finished speaking, Mo Qingyun indifferently called out another number. 110 billion. As soon as they heard Mo Qingyun's bid, the Qin family members' faces began to twitch. This number had already surpassed the limits of what they could bear. In other words, in this competition, their Qin family had lost to the person in VIP room 9. They would miss out on that giant purple palm. Thinking of this, the Qin family members' faces darkened to the extreme. Soon after, an old man from VIP room 2 said in a gloomy voice, "Auctioneer, the friend in VIP room 9 doesn't seem to be from an old family of our yen capital. I am now very suspicious of his wealth. I hope you can be our witness." Doubting Mo Qingyun's financial resources again? As soon as the people in VIP room 2 heard these words, everyone in the auction house was shocked. Then, everyone's faces were filled with curiosity. They wanted to see whether or not Mo Qingyun had 100 billion spirit essence stones. So the people of the Qin clan are all sore losers. At this moment, as everyone was waiting for the auctioneer to verify Mo Qingyun's financial resources, Mo Qingyun mocked the Qin family members. Then, Mo Qingyun didn't waste any more words. He lifted his hand and poured 10 million spirit essence crystals onto the auction stage, instantly forming a small mountain of spirit essence crystals. Chapter 415. 10 million core essence crystals was worth the same as 100 billion spirit essence stones. Moreover, core essence crystals were even rarer than spirit essence stones. Like this, the suspicions of the Qin family in the second VIP room that Mo Qingyun didn't have 100 billion spirit essence stones were no longer valid. After discovering this, the expressions of everyone in the auction house became strange. As they looked at VIP room 2, their eyes were filled with mockery. Mo Qingyun was right. The Qin family members were all sore losers. No wonder Qin Chuan suspected Mr. Mo in VIP room 9. So the Qin family members are all the same. They can't afford to lose. This Mr. Mo has a terrifying amount of wealth. Even the Yin Tong Trading Company can't compare with him. For such a person to be suspected by Qin Chuan of not being able to take out 1 billion spirit essence stones. What a joke. At this moment, everyone was ridiculing the Qin family. As everyone was feeling disdain for the Qin family, Mo Qingyun impatiently said from VIP room 9, "Qin family members, if you don't have the money, then get the hell out of here, so you don't embarrass yourselves here." As soon as they heard Mo Qingyun's words, the Qin family members in VIP room 2 immediately darkened. Then an old man from the Qin family coldly snorted, "Humph! Spending 100 billion spirit essence stones to buy an item of unknown value is far too wasteful. My Qin family disdains to compete with a wastrel like you." Hearing this old man's words, Mo Qingyun immediately revealed a look of disdain. He disdainfully said, "If you're scared, then you're scared. Don't speak so much nonsense." Humph! Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the Qin family members coldly snorted and didn't speak any more nonsense. As the Qin family members remained silent, the competition for the giant purple palm came to an end. In the end, it was won by Mo Qingyun with 101 billion spirit essence stones. If that's the case, then the owner of this Outer Realm Powerhouse's arm is Mr. Mo from VIP room 9. Seeing Mo Qingyun obtain the final victory, the auctioneer's face revealed a look of awe as he announced the final result. At this moment, when the auctioneer said this, his heart was filled with fear. He had almost offended a terrifying existence that could take out 100 billion spirit essence stones. Congratulations to Mr. Mo for obtaining this Outer Realm Powerhouse's arm. When he heard the auctioneer's announcement, Yi Jingtian, who was in VIP room number 1, smiled faintly at Mo Qingyun. "Thank you, Uncle Yi." When Mo Qingyun heard this, he smiled faintly in response. Immediately after, Mo Qingyun took out 10 million core essence crystals and 1 billion spirit essence stones to pay for the Outer Realm Powerhouse's arm. Thank you, Miss Wan. After putting away the Outer Realm Expert's arm, Mo Qingyun thanked Duanmu Wan. At least you still have some conscience. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Duanmu Wan coquettishly glared at Mo Qingyun. She cast a seductive look at Mo Qingyun and said, Brother Yun, if I need your help in the future, you must not refuse. As long as it doesn't go against my principles, I will definitely do my best. Hearing Duanmu Wan's words, Mo Qingyun's expression turned serious as he nodded in response. Good. Remember what you said. Hearing Mo Qingyun's reply, Duanmu Wan smiled sweetly. She was very satisfied with Mo Qingyun's answer. Mo Qingyun nodded at Duanmu Wan in response. Then he looked at Long Hanyin and said, Hanyin, let's go. Okay. Long Hanyin nodded and followed Mo Qingyun out of VIP Room 9. Hanyin, this is the Dragon Blood Purple Jade tea set. Take it. After exiting VIP Room 9, Mo Qingyun took out the Dragon Blood Purple Jade tea set and handed it to Long Hanyin. I'll give you the Elemental Spirit Stones for the Dragon Blood Purple Jade tea set. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Long Hanyin took out her universe bag and prepared to give the Elemental Spirit Stones for the Dragon Blood Purple Jade tea set to Mo Qingyun. There's no need. Mo Qingyun stopped Long Hanyin's actions. He smiled faintly at her and said, Between you and me, why is there a need to be so clear? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Long Hanyin immediately smiled and nodded shyly. Then Mo Qingyun and Long Hanyin walked out of the Burning Heavens auction house together. After leaving the Burning Heavens auction house, Mo Qingyun sent Long Hanyin back to Long Mansion. After a while, Mo Qingyun and Long Hanyin arrived outside Long Mansion. When they arrived outside Long Mansion, Long Hanyin had an expectant look on her face. She said to Mo Qingyun, Qingyun, grandfather's 100th birthday is in 6 days. Can you come? I'll definitely come. Hearing Long Hanyin's words, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and replied to her. Then, Mo Qingyun and Long Hanyin chatted for a while before returning to Tianyin Mansion. After 15 minutes, Mo Qingyun returned to Tianyin Mansion. After returning to Tianyin Mansion, Mo Qingyun did not hesitate and immediately returned to his room. After returning to his room, Mo Qingyun took out the purple arm that he had obtained from the auction house and prepared to refine it. Pung pung pung. Once he took out the purple arm, Mo Qingyun's eyes began to twitch rapidly. I wonder how much my bloodline power will improve after I refine this arm. Looking at the purple arm before him, Mo Qingyun had an expectant look on his face. He began to refine it. Then, Mo Qingyun sent a stream of origin energy into the purple arm to refine it. As the Yuan power entered the purple arm, a pure bloodline power was extracted and entered Mo Qingyun's body. Once the bloodline power entered Mo Qingyun's body, Mo Qingyun immediately had a familiar feeling. At the same time, the bloodline power quickly merged with the blood in his body. As the bloodline power merged with Mo Qingyun's blood, strange runes immediately appeared on Mo Qingyun's right arm. As soon as the strange runes appeared, they began to condense terrifying power and radiate with a terrifying presence. At the same time, a memory appeared in Mo Qingyun's head. This memory recorded a cultivation method of the Heavenly Soul Clan. After cultivating it, he could completely draw out the power in his arm. The fiendish shattering the Star River. This is a legacy martial arts secret manual. After digesting the memory in his head, Mo Qingyun immediately became excited. He knew about the cultivation method. According to the description of the cultivation method, he could punch through a planet if he cultivated it to the limit. Mo Qingyun could punch through a planet with a single punch. Just imagining that kind of power caused his heart to tremble. After a short moment of excitement, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated. He immediately began to refine the purple arm with all his strength. Just like that, 5 days later, After 5 days, under Mo Qingyun's continuous refinement, the purple arm was finally refined. At this moment, Mo Qingyun's entire right arm was covered with strange runes. When activated, these strange runes exuded a shocking presence. The bloodline power of the heavenly soul demon has increased by about 20%. Chapter 416. As Mo Qingyun began to cultivate the legacy martial technique, demon fist shattering the Milky Way, the moves contained in the technique appeared in Mo Qingyun's mind one after another. There were a total of 6 moves in the legacy martial technique, demon fist shattering the Milky Way. There were 5-finger moves and 1 fist move. The first move, Shaoza Heavenly Spirit Finger, was performed with the pinky finger. The attacking moves were flexible and varied. When cultivated to the extreme, one could defeat a move without a move. The second move, Nameless Sky Concealing Finger, was performed with the ring finger. The aura was hidden, and the enemy couldn't tell the direction of the attack. It was impossible to guard against it. The third style, Heaven-Piercing Middle Finger, was executed with the middle finger. When the finger struck out, it had the power to sweep through all directions and advance courageously. The fourth move, Upper Devouring Spirit Finger, was performed with the index finger. The finger attack was demonic and could devour the origin energy of others for one's own use to strengthen one's own finger power. The fifth move, Great Sky Demon Finger, was performed with the thumb. The finger attack was earth-shattering and earth-shattering. It was like lightning destroying the world. The sixth move, Star-Shattering Demonic Fist, was performed with the 5 fingers. The demonic fist appeared, and the demonic fist shattering the Milky Way appeared. After recalling the contents of the demon fist shattering the Milky Way, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately began to cultivate it. Under Mo Qingyun's cultivation, strange runes appeared on his right arm and emitted a shocking aura. As soon as this aura appeared, the sky above the Tianyan mansion changed color and demonic clouds gathered. As soon as this scene appeared, the forces around the Tianyan mansion were startled. What's going on? What happened to the Tianyan mansion? Could it be that someone in the Tianyan mansion broke through to the Heaven Star border and is condensing the Heaven Star border picture? What a terrifying Heaven Star border picture. This Heaven Star border picture is definitely ranked in the top 100. In an instant, everyone was speculating in their hearts. While everyone was speculating, a terrifying origin energy exploded from the demonic clouds in the sky and quickly gathered in Mo Qingyun's house. As soon as this power entered Mo Qingyun's room, it gathered on Mo Qingyun's little finger and slowly condensed into the shadow of a finger. However, this finger shadow was not a complete finger shadow. Instead, it was only the joint of one finger. As the finger shadow slowly condensed, Mo Qingyun felt that his heavenly soul demon eye bloodline power and soul power were being consumed rapidly. At the same time, the shadow of the finger became more and more solid, as if it was the finger of an ancient heavenly demon. At that moment, Mo Qingyun's heavenly soul demon eye bloodline power and soul power were completely used up. Then, Mo Qingyun removed his control over the finger shadow. Following that, the finger shadow rapidly collapsed and turned back into the Yuan Qi of heaven and earth. After removing his control over the finger shadow, Mo Qingyun immediately panted and his body became much more relaxed. In just a short moment, he felt that his soul power and heavenly soul demon eye bloodline power were being drained rapidly. After realizing this, Mo Qingyun's expression froze and he said in a low voice, "This legacy martial skill, demon fist shattering the Milky Way, is of a very high grade. With my current strength, I'm afraid it's impossible for me to unleash its full power." In just a short moment, my bloodline power and soul power were used up instantly. Mo Qingyun furrowed his brows, a difficult expression appearing on his face. He said, "It's not difficult to recover soul strength, but it's a bit troublesome to recover the bloodline strength in my body." At that moment, While Mo Qingyun was having a headache, trying to recover his bloodline power, the soul star in between his eyebrows gradually appeared and emitted an enchanting light. As soon as the enchanting light appeared, Mo Qingyun felt a strange power slowly gathering in the soul star. With the appearance of this power, the bloodline power in his body started to recover slowly. This power is... After discovering this, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately changed, and he revealed a look of surprise. After a short moment of confusion, Mo Qingyun's expression changed drastically, and he said in shock, "This power is I demon's Joss flame power. Joss flame power. I didn't expect there to be such a power in this world." At this moment, Mo Qingyun's heart was truly shocked by this scene. I Demon was born from the heavenly soul demon, I, and has a trace of heavenly soul demon I's bloodline. It's considered the continuation of heavenly soul demon I's Joss flame. After a short moment of shock, Mo Qingyun thought about it, and he understood. After realizing this, Mo Qingyun was pleasantly surprised and said, "If that's the case, I don't have to worry about the recovery of my bloodline power." Then, Mo Qingyun started to recover his bloodline power and soul power, and he continued to cultivate the first move of Demon Fist shattering Milky Way, Shaoza, Heavenly Spirit Finger. Then, time passed by slowly as Mo Qingyun cultivated. In the blink of an eye, a day had passed. At this moment, in Mo Qingyun's small house, a complete finger joint shadow condensed in front of Mo Qingyun, and it emitted a shocking aura. At this moment, the complete finger joint was condensed, and it didn't dissipate like before. The first move, Shaoza Heavenly Spirit Finger, has finally reached the beginner level. With my current cultivation, I can barely perform one attack. Looking at the finger joint in front of him, a look of surprise appeared on his face. He said excitedly, "From the power of this Shaoza's Heavenly Spirit Finger, anyone below the second level of the Pill Palace shouldn't be able to receive it." Although only a finger joint was condensed, it was barely enough to kill people and defend against enemies. Mo Qingyun was very satisfied with this progress. Today is Han Yan's grandfather's 100th birthday. It's time to go to the Long family. Thinking about the promise he made with Long Han Yan, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and walked out of the small house. Boom! At this moment, when Mo Qingyun walked out of the house, a shocking aura came from Qi Lian's house. Qi Lian's cultivation had broken through to the third level of Heaven Dipper. After discovering this, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately changed, revealing a look of shock. After which, Mo Qingyun's body moved and swiftly headed towards Qi Lian's residence. When Mo Qingyun arrived at Qi Lian's house, Tang Zhan was already there. "Young lord." Seeing Mo Qingyun's arrival, Tang Zhan showed respect and bowed to Mo Qingyun. "No need to be so polite." Seeing Tang Zhan's action, Mo Qingyun waved his hand, indicating that he didn't need to be so polite. Then, Mo Qingyun and Tang Zhan waited outside the house for Qi Lian to break through. 2 hours later, Qi Lian's face was filled with joy and he walked out of the house. His cultivation had broken through to the third level of Heaven Dipper. This old servant greets the young lord. Seeing Mo Qingyun outside the courtyard, Qi Lian's face was filled with joy and he bowed to Mo Qingyun. Third level of Heaven Dipper, not bad. Mo Qingyun's face was filled with satisfaction. He praised Qi Lian and said, "Today is Han Yan's grandfather's 100th birthday. Follow me to the Long family." "Yes." Chapter 417. Half an hour later, Mo Qingyun and the other two arrived at the Long mansion. When Mo Qingyun and the other two arrived, the Long mansion was already crowded with people who came to congratulate them. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun walked up and handed over his congratulatory gift. He then followed the crowd into the Long mansion. After entering the Long mansion, Mo Qingyun found Long Han Yan in the crowd. She was with Yi Wuyo. Seeing your sister Wuyo, Han Yan, Mo Qingyun approached the two women and greeted them with a faint smile. "Qingyun, you're here." Seeing Mo Qingyun approaching, Long Han Yin and the other two girls were delighted and greeted Mo Qingyun. Han Yin and Wu Yo greet Palace Master Tang. When the two girls saw Tang Zhan behind Mo Qingyun, they immediately showed respect and bowed to Tang Zhan. Long Han Yin and the other two girls didn't know about the relationship between Mo Qingyun and Tang Zhan. Therefore, with their status, it was natural for them to bow to Tang Zhan. Ladies, there's no need to be so courteous. Seeing the two girls' actions, Tang Zhan smiled and waved at them. Senior sister Wu Yo, brother Lu, and the others didn't come. After greeting each other, Mo Qingyun looked puzzled and asked Yi Wu Yo. They're all in seclusion, preparing for the battle of the best newcomers in a few days. Yi Wu Yo spoke helplessly when he heard Mo Qingyun ask about Lu Fangliang and the others. Then he said, since something happened to Ruoshui, all of these fellows have been cultivating desperately. Besides that, Ruoshui woke up 2 days ago, and with the assistance of the Icy Dew Golden Pill, her cultivation directly attained the peak of the 3rd level of the Origin Core stage. Oh, if that's the case, Ruoshui has profited from her misfortune. Hearing Yi Wu Yo's words, Mo Qingyun's expression froze. He was a little surprised. However, after thinking about it for a while, Mo Qingyun felt relieved. Ruoshui cultivated the power of water, which was compatible with the attribute of the purity Ice Jade Dew Golden Pill. Thus, it would be easier for her to absorb it compared to ordinary people. After the poison in her body was removed, some of the remaining medicinal power would be absorbed by her and converted into cultivation. At this moment, Mo Qingyun and the others were talking. Seeing Tang Zhan here, some of the family heads of the Flame Capital families walked over, trying to curry favor with Tang Zhan. Some of the patriarchs saw that Mo Qingyun and Tang Zhan were familiar with each other and even tried to curry favor with Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun immediately became impatient with the crowd's actions. He said to Tang Zhan, "Home Master Tang, I'll talk to Han Yin and Senior Marshal Sister Wu Yo. You don't have to accompany me here." All right. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Tang Zhan did not continue to stay. Following Tang Zhan's departure, those who wanted to curry favor with Tang Zhan also left. Mo Qingyun instantly felt a lot more peaceful. After that, Mo Qingyun and Yi Wu Yo chatted and laughed as they waited for the birthday banquet to begin. "Wu Yo, so you're here? I've been looking for you for a long time." At this moment, while Mo Qingyun and the others were chatting and laughing, a surprise voice came from the side. Hearing this voice, Mo Qingyun and the others turned to look. Then, a group of arrogant-looking young men entered Mo Qingyun's line of sight. These young men were none other than Leng Hui and the others. Leng Hui and the others approached. When they saw Mo Qingyun beside Yi Wu Yo, their faces immediately darkened. When Leng Hui and the others approached, Leng Hui's face was filled with displeasure. He said to Yi Wu Yo, "Wu Yo, you're the princess of the Great Yin Dynasty. You should keep a distance from these country bumpkins so that they won't affect your status." "Leng Hui, this is my business. You don't have to interfere." Hearing Leng Hui's words, Yi Wu Yo's pretty face immediately darkened as she spoke with displeasure. "Wu Yo, you're wrong to say that." Hearing this, Leng Hui revealed a mischievous smile and said, "After this year's Academy tournament, I'll become the champion and propose to the Flame King. At that time, you'll be my fiancé." "You!" Hearing Leng Hui's words, Yi Wu Yo's pretty face instantly turned pale. She was somewhat worried about this outcome. Seeing Yi Wu Yo's worried face, Leng Hui revealed a smug smile. He looked at Mo Qingyun and mocked. "Mo Qingyun, I don't think you were invited to Patriarch Long's 100th birthday banquet, right? You're really thick-skinned to come uninvited." "Brother Leng Hui, maybe he's here to pour the night incense. Unfortunately, he's a little early." Leng Ju, who was standing by the side, also mocked. "Leng Hui, it's none of your business who our Long family invites." Hearing Leng Hui and the others' words, Long Han Yin immediately spoke with displeasure. "Sister Han Yin, we're saying this for your Long family's sake." Hearing Long Han Yin's displeasure, Leng Hui sneered and said, "Today is Patriarch Long's birthday banquet. Those who are here are all people of status. If some country bumpkins were to sneak in and cause trouble, it would affect everyone's mood. Hearing Lung Huey's words, Long Hanyun's pretty face instantly turned red. She planned to argue with Lung Hui and the others. The banquet has begun. Guests, please take your seats. At this moment, just as Long Hanyun was about to argue with Lung Hui, a warm voice sounded from the main hall of the Long Mansion. Hearing this, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said to Long Hanyun, "Hanyun, senior sister Wuyo, let's go in." Mo Qingyun did not even look at Lung Hui and the others from start. It was as if he did not see them at all. Okay. Hearing this, the two girls nodded at Mo Qingyun and walked into the main hall. As the three of them walked into the main hall, Mo Qingyun purposely raised his voice and said, "Han Yin, when guests come in the future, close the door tightly to prevent wild dogs from coming in and biting people." I'll definitely close the door tightly next time." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Long Han Yin and Wuyo covered their mouths and giggled. "Mo Qingyun, what do you mean by that?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lung Hui and the others' faces darkened and questioned Mo Qingyun. Hearing Lung Hui's words, Mo Qingyun smiled mockingly and replied, "I don't mean anything. I'm just reminding Han Yin. Why? Do you think I'm talking about you?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lung Hui and the others were at a loss for words. They did not know how to refute. There was no other way. Mo Qingyun did not mention any names earlier. He was the one who made the connection. Who could he blame? Then, Mo Qingyun ignored Lung Hui and the others and walked into the main hall with Long Han Yin and Wuyo. He found a seat and sat down. After a while, when everyone was seated, the banquet began. As the banquet began, everyone congratulated Long Wanshou. After a round of congratulations, everyone toasted each other and chatted happily about the younger generation of their respective families. At this moment, while everyone was chatting happily, Lung Wuya sneered and looked at the members of the Qin clan. He said with a smile, "Patriarch Qin Bin, that kid is the one who snatched the arm of the expert from your Qin clan at the Skyburn auction house. Aren't you going to toast him?" Hearing Lung Wuya's words, the expressions of the members of the Qin clan immediately changed, and they instantly understood Lung Wuya's thoughts. Chapter 4:18. Although they knew what Lung Wuya was thinking, when they thought about how Mo Qingyun had ruined the Qin family's opportunity to rise, they all became furious. They originally planned to use all of the Qin family's wealth to obtain the Outer Realm Expert's Arm. They hoped that the Outer Realm Expert's Arm would increase the Qin family's strength and allow the Qin family to become the sixth faction in the Flame Capital. They didn't think that Mo Qingyun would come out of nowhere and make all of this go up in smoke. Thinking of this, the people of the Qin clan immediately felt anger rising in their hearts. Then the Qin family's patriarch, Qin Bin, looked at Mo Qingyun with an unhappy expression and said, "Young man, your wealth has surprised this old man. However, there are some things that you can't protect. I believe you understand the principle of treasuring a jade ring becomes a crime." At that moment, Qin Bin's words clearly contained some threatening intent. "Is that so?" Hearing Qin Bin's words, Mo Qingyun faintly smiled and asked, "According to Patriarch Qin, what should I do now? How should I deal with the Outer Realm Expert's Arm?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the Qin family's eyes lit up and they all revealed cold smiles. Looking at their expressions, it was as if they had succeeded in some scheme. Perhaps in their opinion, the reason Mo Qingyun asked this question was because he felt that the Outer Realm Expert's Arm was too hot to handle and felt that it was best to sell it. Thinking of this, Qin Bin faintly smiled and said, "I presume you have studied the Outer Realm Expert's Arm and know that it isn't something you can study or comprehend." Qin Bin paused for a moment and then said, "It isn't a good thing for you to cause potential trouble for something of unknown value. If you're willing to sell it now, this old man can help you. I'm willing to buy the Outer Realm Expert's Arm for 10 billion yuan spirit stones." At this moment, Qin Bin spoke as if he had done Mo Qingyun a great favor. 10 billion yuan spirit stones? Hearing Qin Bin's words, Mo Qingyun immediately smiled. His smile was filled with mockery as he mocked. Patriarch Qin, you and I are not related in any way. Since you're so kind to help me, how can I be so kind as to take your money? How about I just give you the Outer Realm Expert's arm? Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the Qin family's expressions unconsciously changed, and they all revealed vigilant expressions. Mo Qingyun's actions were too abnormal. Logically, Mo Qingyun should be very resistant. But now, Mo Qingyun actually planned to give them the arm of an Outer Realm cultivator. It had to be said that this scene was somewhat beyond their expectations. At this moment, the Qin family's people began to hesitate. When he saw the reaction of the Qin clan's people, the disdain on Mo Qingyun's face immediately intensified. He smiled and said, "What's wrong? Now that I'm giving you the arm of an Outer Realm expert for free, do you still not dare take it?" Looking at the playful smile on Mo Qingyun's face, the expressions of the Qin family members immediately changed, and their vigilance increased. If something was abnormal, there had to be something wrong. They had to be on guard against Mo Qingyun's actions. Seeing the Qin family's clan's actions, Mo Qingyun immediately revealed a look of disdain. He said, "You don't even dare to accept it if I give it to you for free, and you even offered 10 billion yuan spirit stones to buy it. Are you just spouting nonsense?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the Qin family's expressions darkened. They all glared at Mo Qingyun. At this moment, a youth walked out from the Qin family's group. If one looked carefully, they would discover that this youth's appearance was somewhat similar to Qin Chuan's. He was the Qin family's genius junior, Qin Hao. Qin Hao walked out from the crowd, sneering as he walked towards Mo Qingyun. "Brat, since you obtained the arm of a powerhouse from the Outer Realm, you must have obtained their martial arts inheritance." Qin Hao arrived in front of Mo Qingyun, a sinister smile on his face. He taunted Mo Qingyun, "Do you dare to fight me with the martial arts inheritance of a powerhouse from the Outer Realm? You can't." Seeing Qin Hao's actions, the Qin family's elder's expression immediately changed. He wanted to stop Qin Hao. After all, this was the Long family. Moreover, this was Long Wancho's birthday. It was inappropriate for Qin Hao to rashly find someone to fight. No need to stop Hao. Let him teach that brat a lesson. However, before the elder could finish speaking, he was interrupted by Qin Bin. After interrupting the elder's words, Qin Bin smiled faintly as he looked at Long Wancho. "Brother Wancho, in order to add some atmosphere to your birthday, Her intends to find other juniors to spar with to liven things up. You won't mind, right?" Hearing Qin Bin's words, Long Wancho immediately revealed a faint smile. He looked at Qin Hao and smiled faintly. Qin Hao is so considerate. I wonder who he intends to spar with?" Hearing Long Wancho's words, Qin Bin sneered. He turned his head to look at Mo Qingyun and sneered. "How? Knows that little friend Mo has obtained the inheritance of a powerhouse from the Outer Realm. Therefore, he wants to spar with him." Hearing Qin Bin's words, everyone was curious as they turned to look at Mo Qingyun. When everyone looked at Mo Qingyun and recognized Mo Qingyun, they were shocked. Mo Qingyun. The person Qin Hao wanted to challenge was actually Mo Qingyun, the person who had annihilated the Liu family. Some of the people who had witnessed the annihilation of the Liu family immediately broke out in cold sweat when they saw Qin Hao's actions. The person Qin Hao wanted to provoke was actually the ruthless Mo Qingyun. This move of his was really too risky. Mo Qingyun wasn't someone to be trifled with. Of course, while some people were worried for Qin Hao, someone who didn't know Mo Qingyun was also worried for Mo Qingyun. Qin Hao was the #1 junior in the Qin family. He was ranked 5th on the Earth ranking of the Hidden Dragon Institute. Would Mo Qingyun be able to spar with such a person? At this moment, everyone's hearts were filled with curiosity. Although Mo Qingyun's background isn't bad, his cultivation realm is too low. I'm afraid he won't be Qin Hao's opponent. I heard that Qin Hao had obtained a powerful inheritance a few days ago. His strength increased by leaps and bounds, and he's already aiming for the top 3 on the Earth ranking. In the hall, everyone was whispering to each other. While everyone was whispering, Emo Qingyun glanced at Qin Hao indifferently and said, "You're not worthy for me to use the inherited martial arts of an outer world expert." When Emo Qingyun said those words, the hall fell silent. Everyone was shocked by Emo Qingyun's words. Emo Qingyun's current performance was too arrogant. At this moment, everyone was shocked. When Qin Hao heard Emo Qingyun's words, his face darkened. He gritted his teeth and said, "Whether I'm worthy or not, we'll know after we fight." Chapter 419. Qin Hao struck out with his palm. Immediately, his origin energy surged and turned into a giant palm. As soon as the palm was formed, it emitted a terrifying aura, causing the tables and chairs in the hall to tremble. Then, the crowd saw the huge palm cover the sky as it came crashing down on Emo Qingyun. As the palm came crashing down, the seat under the palm was immediately crushed into powder. Seeing this, the crowd's expressions changed drastically. They were all shocked. The power of Qin Hao's palm was enough to threaten a high-level Yuan Dan fighter. It was not something a 4th-stage Yuan Dan fighter could take. At this moment, the crowd began to worry for Emo Qingyun. This is the wild goose demon suppressing palm. 400 years ago, it was the wild goose dynasty's ultimate martial art. I didn't expect Qin Hao to have mastered such a martial art. It seems that he can now fight a high-level Yuan Dan fighter. If that's the case, Emo Qingyun will be in trouble. He won't be able to take this attack. For a moment, the crowd's expressions changed as they uttered words of shock. At this moment, the crowd was shocked and worried for Emo Qingyun. "Get lost." A cold voice came out from Emo Qingyun's mouth. Then, everyone saw a saber ray that was tens of meters long flying towards the huge palm at an extremely fast speed. Pucci. Under the bombardment of the saber light, the huge palm was immediately defeated and dissipated. At the same time, the blade light did not stop attacking after destroying the palm. It continued to press down on Qin Hao. Following that, the crowd saw that the flaming blade ray carried with it an astonishing aura as it smashed onto Qin Hao's body. Bang! With a muffled sound, the crowd saw Qin Hao's body fly out. Pucci. After being hit by the blade light, Qin Hao fell to the ground and spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was pale. Seeing this, the crowd's expressions changed. They could not believe that this was real. Emo Qingyun, a 4th-stage Yuan Dan cultivator, had actually taken Qin Hao's attack with ease. Qin Hao, who was ranked 5th on the Heaven and Earth ranking, had actually been defeated by Emo Qingyun. More importantly, Emo Qingyun did not even move his body during the process of defeating Qin Hao. The difference between them was too great. Qin Hao lost. Is this true? Qin Hao couldn't even take a single blow from Emo Qingyun. Emo Qingyun is so strong. Is he really in the 4th layer of the New Year's Day? Everyone was shocked once again. Impossible. Seeing that he had been easily defeated by Emo Qingyun, Qin Hao immediately revealed a deranged expression and uttered a crazy sentence. Then, Qin Hao got up from the ground and attacked Emo Qingyun again. Mad Eagle Meteorite Claw. As soon as Qin Hao attacked, his clothes immediately fluttered, emitting a terrifying aura. Subsequently, an origin energy storm that was even more terrifying than before quickly converged above Qin Hao. After the origin energy had gathered, it turned into a terrifying shadow of an eagle claw and bombarded Emo Qingyun like a storm. Raptor break. In the face of Qin Hao's attack, Emo Qingyun still had an indifferent expression as he sat in the same spot without moving. However, a terrifying origin energy storm had been set off outside of Emo Qingyun's body. This storm of elemental energy also carried a terrifying wind profundity. This was wind profundity that had reached perfection. With the support of the complete wind ultimacy, the origin energy storm outside of Emo Qingyun's body immediately became many times stronger. Complete wind ultimacy. Sensing the wind ultimacy on Mo Qingyun's body, the crowd's expression changed. They were shocked by Mo Qingyun's ultimacy realm. Yuan Dan was only at the 4th level martial stage, but he had already comprehended the complete wind ultimacy. This kind of comprehension ability was too shocking. While the crowd was still in shock, the eagle claw shadow in midair attacked Mo Qingyun forcefully. However, the moment the eagle claw shadow neared Mo Qingyun, it was blocked by the origin energy storm outside of Mo Qingyun's body. The eagle claw shadow was instantly shattered by the storm. Now that you've made your move, it's my turn now. After blocking Qin Hao's attack, Mo Qingyun had a cold expression on his face as he spoke to Qin Hao in a cold tone. As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, his body moved, and he quickly struck out a palm at Qin Hao. As soon as the palm struck out, a terrifying origin energy burst out from Mo Qingyun's hand. As soon as the origin energy burst out, it turned into an icy blue sword ray and continued to attack Qin Hao's chest. As soon as the icy blue sword ray appeared, it emitted a terrifying chill, causing ice to form in the hall. What a powerful attack! In the face of Mo Qingyun's attack, Qin Hao's expression immediately changed, and he revealed a strong sense of fear. Immediately, Qin Hao did not dare to hesitate and immediately prepared to turn around and dodge. He did not dare to take Mo Qingyun's attack head-on. Trying to escape? Do you think you can escape? Seeing Qin Hao's actions, Mo Qingyun sneered and mocked him. Gravity suppression. Then, Mo Qingyun displayed the level 5 Earth ultimacy and released a terrifying gravity that descended on Qin Hao's body. Dang, dang, dang. Under the pressure of the gravity, Qin Hao immediately staggered and almost fell to the ground. At the same time, Qin Hao's speed of escape slowed down. As Qin Hao's speed of escape slowed down, Mo Qingyun immediately chased after him and stabbed the icy blue sword ray in his hand at Qin Hao. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Qin Bin and the others' expressions changed, and they shouted at Mo Qingyun, "Boy, stop! Stop!" In response to Qin Bin and the others' words, Mo Qingyun smiled disdainfully. Without hesitation, he struck out with his palm, and the icy blue sword ray shot into Qin Hao's body. Poochie! Then, Qin Hao's body was pierced through by the icy blue sword ray. Drip! 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 The icy blue sword ray pierced through Qin Hao's body, and drops of blood flowed out from Qin Hao's wound. Boy, you're courting death. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Qin Bin's face immediately darkened, and he raised his hand to strike at Mo Qingyun. Qin family, you're too presumptuous. Seeing Qin Bin attack Mo Qingyun, Qi Lian's face darkened, and he attacked Qin Bin. Then, the crowd saw a red figure emitting a terrifying aura and attacking Qin Bin rapidly. How dare you, slave? This is not the place for you to act presumptuously. Seeing Qi Lian's actions, Qin Bin's expression became ferocious, and he spoke through gritted teeth. Then, the crowd saw Qin Bin and Qi Lian fighting each other as they attacked each other crazily. In just a short while, the two of them struck out dozens of palms consecutively, emitting a terrifying aura. However, after dozens of palms, Qin Bin was obviously at a disadvantage, and he was sent flying by Qi Lian. After seeing this scene, everyone's expression immediately changed, revealing a look of shock. In just a short while, Qin Bin, who was in the Heaven Star Border Stage 3, was seriously injured by the red-haired old man. Didn't this mean that the red-haired old man in front of them was at least in the Heaven Star Border Stage 3? The Tianyin Manor, which had always kept a low profile, actually had such a terrifying existence. This scene was too shocking. Chapter 420. How dare you? Lung Wuya's face darkened when he saw that Qin Bin was injured by Qi Lian. He said coldly, Mo Qingyun, aren't you being too arrogant by injuring someone on Patriarch Long's birthday? Arrogant? Mo Qingyun sneered when he heard Lung Wuya's words. Lung family patriarch, according to what you said, shouldn't I have stood there and let Qin Hao attack me? Lung Wuya's face darkened when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He said coldly, "No matter what, you shouldn't have injured someone. Also, you allowed your servant to injure Patriarch Qin. Isn't that a bit too much?" Too much? At this moment, the disdain in Mo Qingyun's eyes when he looked at Lung Wuya became even stronger. He mocked, "Lung family head, let me ask you something. With Qin family head's Heaven Dipper realm cultivation, isn't it too much for the Qin family to attack me, a Origin Core realm cultivator?" Mo Qingyun sneered and said, "Also, my servant attacked Patriarch Qin. What does that have to do with your Lung family? Is this your Lung family's hall? Or was it because Lung Wuya was celebrating his 100th birthday today? Brat, you're courting death." Lung Wuya's face darkened when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He said angrily. Then, Lung Wuya released a terrifying qi that crushed toward Mo Qingyun. Oomph. Qi Lian snorted and stepped in front of Mo Qingyun. He blocked Lung Wuya's aura. Mo Qingyun relaxed when Qi Lian blocked Lung Wuya's aura. He said coldly, "Lung Wuya, today is Patriarch Long's 100th birthday. If you want to fight, we'll wait for you outside. Don't disturb Patriarch Long's birthday." As soon as Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he ignored Lung Wuya and directly walked out of the hall. When Mo Qingyun walked out of the hall, Tang Zhan stopped hesitating and went to Mo Qingyun's side to protect Mo Qingyun. Tang Zhan did this because he was worried that when Qi Lian and the Lung clan fought, the other elders of the Lung clan and the Qin clan would take the opportunity to sneak attack Mo Qingyun. Everyone's expression changed when they saw Mo Qingyun's actions. They were shocked by Mo Qingyun's actions. Was Mo Qingyun declaring war on the Lung family? The Tianyan Manor, a faction that had been in Flame Capital for less than a year, was declaring war on the Lung family, one of the 5 major factions in Flame Capital. This kind of action was really too shocking. After a brief moment of shock, everyone revealed looks of anticipation as they turned to look at the people from the Lung clan. What would the Lung family do in the face of Mo Qingyun's direct provocation? Should he accept this battle, or should he shrink back? Oomph. It seems that the Lung family has been keeping a low profile for too long. Everyone has forgotten about the Lung family's methods. Lung Wuya snorted and walked out of the hall. He said darkly, "Since you want to die, then I'll use the blood of your Tianyan Manor to restore the dignity of the Lung family." Lung Wuya walked out of the hall as soon as he finished speaking. Seeing Lung Wuya and the others walk out of the main hall, everyone in the main hall hurriedly followed them out of the main hall. From today onwards, there will no longer be a Tianyan Manor in Flame Capital. Outside the palace, Lung Wuya's face was gloomy as he spoke in a chilling tone. At this moment, when he said these words, his body emitted a strong, killing intent. Everyone's expression changed when they heard Lung Wuya's words. They couldn't help but worry for the Tianyan Manor. It seems like Mo Qingyun's words have really angered Lung Wuya. Mo Qingyun is too impulsive. Does he think that the Tianyan Manor can go against the Lung family just because they have a Heaven Star Border Stage 3 expert? It's really unfortunate for the Tianyan Manor to have such a junior. Everyone couldn't help but shake their heads. They felt that Mo Qingyun's actions were too unwise. While everyone was worrying for the Tianyan Manor, Mo Qingyun said with disdain, "Lung Wuya, your Lung family wants to destroy my Tianyan Manor. Let's see if you have the ability to do so. Ignorant brat, do you really think that the Tianyan Mansion can rest easy just because they have a 3rd-level Heavenly Dipper Realm expert?" Lung Wuya sneered. "I don't mind telling you that the Jin family in Flame Capital also had a Heaven Star Border Stage 3 expert. In the end, they were also removed from Flame Capital by my Lung family. The Jin family is the Jin family. The Tianyan Manor is the Tianyan Manor." Mo Qingyun smiled and didn't take Lung Wuya's words to heart at all. He replied indifferently, "It seems like you won't cry until you see the coffin. Since that's the case, I'll fulfill your wish." As soon as Lung Wuya finished speaking, he no longer hesitated and threw a palm strike at Qi Lian. As soon as Lung Wuya attacked, he entered the half-soul transformation state and summoned his Heaven Star Border picture. As soon as the Heaven Star Border picture appeared, it turned into a giant tiger claw and slapped at Qi Lian. Family head, Wantong is here to help you. As soon as Lung Weia attacked, a Heaven Star Border Stage 3 elder from the Lung family joined in as well. As soon as Lung Weia attacked, Lung Wantong entered the half-soul transformation state and summoned his Heaven Star Border picture. Celestial Demonic 10,000 Elephant Palm. As soon as Lung Wantong threw out a palm strike, the Heaven Star Border picture emitted a terrifying aura and a shocking amount of Yuan Qi. Once the origin power erupted, it transformed into different images. It was like a myriad of living beings surrounding Qi Lian. Facing the combined attack of Lung Weia and Lung Wantong, Qi Lian didn't show any fear. He faced the attack with pride. Infernal Demonic Dragon Picture. As soon as the Infernal Demonic Dragon picture appeared, the sky changed color and the entire Long family's territory turned into hell. Roar! Demonic dragons flew out from the Infernal Demonic Dragon picture and flew towards Lung Weia and Lung Wantong. Bang! 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 Immediately after, a beautiful storm of Yuan Qi exploded in the sky and a shocking aura burst out, causing small cracks to appear in the space. Seeing this, everyone's expression changed. They were shocked by the strength of Qi Lian and the other two elders. Of course, what shocked them the most was the strength that Qi Lian displayed. Fighting 1 against 2, he didn't seem to be at a disadvantage. Instead, he seemed to have the upper hand. It was too shocking. The red-haired elder from the Tianyan Manor is so strong. No wonder Mo Qingyun dares to be so arrogant. I didn't expect the Tianyan Manor to have such an expert. It seems like the Tianyan Manor has hidden their strength well. It seems like the Tianyan Manor has the potential to become the 6th power in Flame Capital. At this moment, everyone's expressions were filled with shock as they exclaimed one after another. Chapter 421. Qin Bin attacked again. Just like Lung Weia and Lung Wantong, he entered the half-soul transformation state and summoned the Heaven Star constellation diagram. Then, a picture of the Infernal Camp appeared in the sky above Qi Lian. After the Hell's Camp appeared, skeletal warriors holding crescent-shaped sabers immediately walked out quickly and brandished their sabers at Qi Lian. Qi Lian's expression changed when he saw the skeletal warriors charging at him. He controlled the Hell Demon Dragon diagram to attack them. Ka. Under the attack of the Hell Demon Dragon, the skeletal warriors' bodies collapsed and turned into piles of white bones. Qi Lian's attack didn't slow down after Qin Bin's attack. He continued to attack Lung Weia and Lung Wantong. Seeing this scene, the shock on everyone's faces immediately became even more intense. Qi Lian, who was also in the 3rd level of Heaven Star Border, was able to fight 3 opponents at the same time. His battle strength was too shocking. While everyone was shocked by Qi Lian's battle strength, the Lung family and Qin family members were tense. Lung Weia, Lung Wantong, and Qin Bin couldn't defeat Qi Lian even when they worked together. This scene was too out of their expectations. After a short moment of shock, an elder in the 2nd level of Heaven Star Border from the Qin family sneered and looked at Mo Qingyun coldly. The 2nd level Heavenly Dipper Realm Elder of the Qin clan dashed towards Mo Qingyun and said proudly, "Brat, the red-haired old man is fighting right now. This old man wants to see who can save you now." Everyone was shocked when they saw the elder's action. They couldn't help but feel pity for Qi Lian. Mo Qingyun is finished. Without the red-haired elder's protection, he won't be able to escape this time. He was careless this time. It's too dangerous for a Yuan Dan realm cultivator like him to come here. He can only blame himself for being too arrogant. Even the Long family wouldn't dare to offend the Qin family and the Lung family. In everyone's opinion, Mo Qingyun was dead for sure this time when facing this Qin clan elder. Mo Qingyun, let's see how you'll die under Elder Qin Yiba's hands. At the sight of this, Qin Xuan and Qin Hao both sneered coldly, feeling proud in their hearts. While Qin Hao and Li Qiye were feeling complacent, Long Hanyin and Li Qiye's expressions suddenly changed. They revealed anxious looks and shouted, "No!" Bang! At this time, just as everyone was worried about Mo Qingyun, a muffled sound was heard. Then, the crowd saw a figure flying toward the Qin family's group at an extremely fast speed. When everyone saw this person's face, their expressions immediately became sluggish. They couldn't believe that this was real. The person who was sent flying was actually the Qin clan's Heaven Dipper Stage 2 expert, Qin Ba. This scene was simply too unexpected for everyone. At this moment, while the crowd was still in shock, Tang Zhan had a look of disdain on his face as he coldly said, "A second-level Heavenly Dipper sovereign actually dared to make a move against an Yuan Dan realm cultivator? Does your Qin clan have any shame?" When Tang Zhan said this, everyone's expression changed again. They were somewhat surprised by Tang Zhan's performance. At the same time, everyone understood that the person who sent Qin Ba flying was the Blood Refining Hall's Hall Master, Tang Zhan. At the same time, they looked at Mo Qingyun with more apprehension and surprise in their eyes. Mo Qingyun could actually make Tang Zhan attack the Qin family's people for him. This ability wasn't simple. Cough, cough, cough. After being attacked by Tang Zhan, Qin Ba's face turned pale. He coughed continuously and looked at Tang Zhan with anger. He said angrily, "Tang Zhan, what do you mean by this? Do you think our Qin family is easy to bully?" "Nothing. I just don't like you guys." Tang Zhan responded to Qin Ba's words with disdain and said, "Also, I think your Qin family is easy to bully. What can you guys do?" When Tang Zhan said this, everyone's expression immediately became strange. Tang Zhan was too arrogant. However, everyone understood that Tang Zhan had the capital to be arrogant. At this moment, everyone's gazes towards the Qin family were filled with sympathy. The Qin family was really unlucky to have offended Tang Zhan. This was a person that even the 3 families in one mansion were wary of. Hearing Tang Zhan's words, Qin Ba's old face flushed red. However, he didn't dare to let out half a fart. There was no other way. Although their Qin family's wealth wasn't weak, the gap between their strength and the blood refining hall wasn't small. They dared to show off in front of the Tianyin mansion, but they didn't dare to fart in front of the blood refining hall, because the blood refining hall wasn't something the Qin family could afford to offend. At this moment, when Qin Ba and the others' faces were flushed red, Mo Qingyun said indifferently to Tang Zhan, "Shopkeeper Tang, I want the lives of the Qin family's people. Please leave their lives to me." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, everyone was shocked again. They couldn't believe their ears. Mo Qingyun actually said that he wanted the lives of the Qin family's people. Was he planning to remove the Qin family's name? How much confidence and pride did a Yuan Dan realm cultivator have to have dared to say such words? In the entire Yin capital, Mo Qingyun was probably the only person who dared to say such a thing, apart from the 5 great powers. Then, everyone looked at Mo Qingyun with more admiration. "Ha, that's easy." Tang Zhan's eyes flashed with respect at Mo Qingyun's words. He replied with a faint smile. When Mo Qingyun's words entered the Qin family's ears, they immediately felt an intense sense of humiliation. However, at this moment, no one from the Qin clan dared to refute this humiliation. They were worried that if they refuted and caused Tang Zhan to go back on his words, it would be troublesome. This wasn't something they wanted to see. Seeing the Qin family's reaction, the surrounding people couldn't help but sigh in their hearts. They didn't expect that the Qin family would be suppressed by the Tianyin manor in this confrontation. This was truly unexpected. Just as everyone was sighing in their hearts, a miserable shriek came from the sky. Qin Bin's face was pale as he spat out blood. He fell from the sky and landed heavily on the ground, stirring up a cloud of dust. At this moment, there was a 1-foot-long wound on Qin Bin's chest. Blood was flowing out, and it was a horrible sight. "How dare you?" At this moment, Lung Weia shouted angrily, while everyone was shocked by Qin Bin's injuries. Following that, the crowd saw a crimson figure rapidly approach the heavily injured Qin Bin. With a palm strike, the crimson figure instantly killed the heavily injured Qin Bin. After killing Qin Bin, Qi Lian did not hesitate at all. He raised his hand and put away Qin Bin's corpse. "Tianyin Manor, you've gone too far." Seeing Qi Lian's actions, the Qin family could no longer remain calm. All the Heaven Star border experts attacked Mo Qinyan. At this moment, the Qin family's members attacked Qi Lian. The other people's faces were filled with sorrow. They sighed in their hearts. The Qin family had lost completely in this confrontation. Chapter 422. Once the Qin clan's Heavenly Dipper realm elders attacked, they didn't hold back at all and immediately summoned the Heavenly Dipper pictures one by one. Suddenly, a terrifying aura was emitted from the sky. After the Big Dipper images appeared, the sky above the Long Mansion changed color. Everything was covered by the Big Dipper images. You want to bully me with numbers? I'm not afraid of you. Seeing the Qin clan's actions, Qi Lian sneered and said coldly, "Since you want to die, I'll fulfill your wish." Break! Qi Lian's body emitted a terrifying bloody light. He raised his hand and blasted a shocking amount of energy into the infernal demon dragon picture. Under the effect of the energy, the infernal demon dragon picture shone brightly, and the area it covered increased by a few times. Its aura also became much stronger. At the same time, the infernal demon dragon's aura in the infernal demon dragon picture also became stronger. Roar! Under Qi Lian's control, the hell demonic dragons with shocking auras and overflowing ferocious might charged towards the Qin clan elders' heavenly constellation portraits. Bang! 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 Under the frenzied bombardment of the infernal demon dragon, a series of shocking noises reverberated in the air. At the same time, there was a storm of energy in the sky. It was like a gathering of dark clouds, causing the sky to darken. Crack! 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 After a while, under the crazy attacks of the infernal demon dragons, a Heaven Star Border Stage 1 elder of the Qin clan had obvious cracks on his Heaven Star Border picture. Bang! Then, the Heavenly Dipper picture broke apart, turning into fragments of the picture. Poof! The Heaven Star Border picture was blasted into fragments. The elder of the Qin clan immediately vomited blood. His face was pale, and his aura became weak. The Heaven Star Border picture was the foundation of a Heaven Star Border realm elite. It was as important as the dantian of a martial artist. If the Heaven Star Border picture was damaged, then he would not be able to improve his cultivation in this lifetime. There was even a possibility that his cultivation would regress and become a cripple. Right now, the elder of the Qin clan was in a situation where he would become a cripple. The Heaven Star Border picture is broken. You will be a cripple in the future. It's a waste to live in this world. Let me send you on your way. Qi Lian sneered. He moved and attacked the Heaven Star Border Stage 1 elder of the Qin clan. Stop! Seeing Qi's action, the rest of the Qin clan members' faces changed and shouted at Qi Lian. However, Qi Lian chose to ignore their words. He. Become my cultivation elixir. Qi Lian arrived in front of the other party in a flash. He smiled sinisterly and raised his hand to throw a palm strike at the other party. Immediately after, a huge blood-red palm appeared above the elder of the Qin clan. It covered the sky and covered the sun as it came crashing down on him, grabbing him in the middle of the palm. No, don't. Seeing that he'd been grabbed by the sky-covering palm, the elder of the Qin family immediately revealed a terrified expression and begged Qi Lian for mercy. He was he border realm. After killing the first Heaven Dipper realm elder of the Qin clan, Qi Lian casually tossed the corpse into his cosmos sack. Qi Lian didn't hesitate. He continued to attack the other elders of the Qin clan. Lung Wuya and Lung Wantong were also attacking him. However, anyone with a discerning eye could see that it was impossible for Lung Wuya's group to defeat Qi Lian with their current strength. The Tianyan Manor is strong. With this elder here, no one can shake their position. The Qin clan is done for. The Tianyan Manor is the 6th strongest force in Flame Capital. They can't afford to offend them. Everyone sighed in their hearts when they saw Qi Lian display his shocking strength once again, while everyone was still in shock. In midair, among the Qin family's elders, a few more of their Heavenly Dipper portraits were destroyed. As these people's Big Dipper portraits were broken, the expressions of the surrounding people immediately changed. They had a new understanding of Qi Lian's strength. The red-haired elder was invincible under the heaven star border realm. Lung Wuya's expression immediately turned ugly when he saw the elders of the Qin clan being crippled one by one. He said to Long Wancho, "Brother Wancho, for the sake of Yindu's future peace, we can't allow this villain to continue his evil deeds. Let's work together to kill him." Okay. Long Wancho's face changed when he heard Lung Wuya's words. He wanted to help Lung Wuya. However, before Long Wancho could speak, he was interrupted by Tang Zhan. "Patriarch Long, let me give you a piece of advice. You shouldn't get involved in this mess. Otherwise, your Long clan will be doomed," Tang Zhan said coldly. He knew about the relationship between Mo Qingyun and Long Hanyan. He didn't want to put Mo Qingyun in a difficult position, so he didn't want the Long clan to get involved. "Hall Master Tang, what do you mean?" Long Wancho's face froze when he heard Tang Zhan's words. He pretended to be confused and asked Tang Zhan, "You should know what I mean." In response to Long Wancho's words, Tang Zhan revealed a mocking expression and replied. When Tang Zhan finished speaking, Mo Qingyun looked at Long Wancho and said, "Patriarch Long, for the sake of Han Yin, I'll remind you to celebrate your birthday in peace. You don't have to worry about anything else." Mo Qingyun's tone wasn't very friendly, and there was a hint of disapproval. In Mo Qingyun's opinion, Long Wancho might be Long Hanyan's grandfather, but he had imprisoned her for dozens of years. Now, he even wanted to make a move on Qi Lian. In that case, it was impossible for Mo Qingyun to have a good impression of him. "Kid, what's with your attitude?" Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Long Wancho's face instantly sank, and he uttered some words of displeasure. In his opinion, Mo Qingyun's behavior at this moment was truly condescending. Putting aside the fact that he was the patriarch of the Long family, just the fact that Mo Qingyun wanted to marry Long Hanyan meant that Mo Qingyun shouldn't have spoken to him in such a tone. Mo Qingyun chose to ignore Long Wancho's displeasure and said coldly, "If Patriarch Long doesn't appreciate it, you could try to make a move. I think the next Qin family will be your Long family." Mo Qingyun's words clearly carried a hint of threat. "Oomph." Long Wancho's face darkened when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He didn't say anything more to Mo Qingyun. He didn't dare to take this risk. He had no choice. With his eyesight, he could naturally see that if a mid-level Heavenly Star border expert didn't appear, it would be difficult for anyone to suppress Qi Lian. Even a Long family patriarch couldn't do it. Therefore, the Long family, which didn't have a mid-level Heavenly Star border expert, had better not provoke Mo Qingyun. Oomph. Chapter 423. Qingyun. Hearing Long Wancho's words, Long Hanyan looked aggrieved and looked at Mo Qingyun with a troubled expression. Seeing Long Hanyan's expression, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly at her and said apologetically, "You go ahead first. You don't have to worry about the matters between me and the Long family." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Long Hanyan's expression relaxed, and she walked towards Long Wancho reluctantly. However, if one observed carefully, one could see that Long Hanyan was dissatisfied with Long Wancho's actions. In the future, don't interact with this brat. Seeing Long Hanyan walk to his side, Long Wancho was furious and reprimanded Long Hanyan. Hearing Long Wancho's words, Long Hanyan's eyes turned red, and she ran back to her residence. "Father, I'm going to check on Hanyan." Seeing Long Hanyan's actions, Yi Wuyo instructed Yi Jingtian and chased after Long Hanyan. Before Yi Wuyo chased after Long Hanyan, she winked at Mo Qingyun and gave Mo Qingyun a reassuring look. Seeing Yi Wuyo's actions, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and nodded his head in response, indicating that he understood. This girl is getting more and more immature. She made a fool of herself in front of everyone. Seeing Long Hanyan's actions, Long Wancho was displeased and cupped his hands at the people around him. "Ha ha, Brother Wancho, you're in the wrong this time. Everyone can see that Han Yin and Mo Qingyun have feelings for each other. Hearing Long Wancho's words, Yi Jingtian smiled faintly and said, "This time, not only did you not help Mo Qingyun, but you also helped Lung Weya deal with Mo Qingyun. Separating Mo Qingyun and Han Yin is not a wise move." Flame King, I don't agree with what you just said. Hearing Yi Jingtian's words, Long Wancho's face darkened and revealed a trace of displeasure. He said, "If that brat really wants to marry Han Yin, is the tone he should use when talking to me? You are just too stubborn." When Yi Jingtian heard Long Wancho's words, he shook his head and smiled bitterly. At that moment, when Yi Jingtian and the others were talking, Lung Wuya's angry voice came from the sky. "Mo Qingyun, the Lung family will remember what you did to us today." Then, everyone saw Lung Wuya move and arrive in front of the Lung family. When he arrived in front of the Lung family, Lung Wuya did not hesitate. He raised his hand and brought the Lung family away quickly. Qi Lian did not care about Lung Wuya's escape. He focused on killing the Qin family members. Without the help of Lung Wuya and Lung Wantong, the Qin family members were like chickens and dogs. They were killed by Qi Lian one after another. After an hour, there were no more elders of the Qin family in the sky. They had all been killed by Qi Lian. After seeing this scene, the eyes that everyone looked at Qi Lian were immediately filled with a strong sense of reverence. Of course, while they were in awe of Qi Lian, they were also in awe of Mo Qingyun. Sigh. As expected, when a force rises, there will be other forces that become its stepping stones. It seems like the Qin family has become a stepping stone for the Tianyin manor. They will follow in the footsteps of the Liu family. However, now that the Tianyin manor has offended both the Lung family and the Long family, they are not in a good situation. Everyone sighed in their hearts again. What happened today was too sudden for them. It was too shocking. The sixth force of the Flame Capital had risen so quickly. "Young lord, what should we do with the Pill Palace and Yuan Dan members of the Qin family?" After killing the elders of the Qin family, Qi Lian came in front of Mo Qingyun and asked Mo Qingyun, "Kill." In response to Qi Lian's question, Mo Qingyun's face was cold. He made a beheading gesture. When he saw Mo Qingyun's action, Qi Lian did not hesitate. He immediately moved and attacked the remaining members of the Qin family. Under Qi Lian's attack, the remaining Pill Palace and Yuan Dan members of the Qin family were killed in an instant. After killing these people, Qi Lian did not hesitate and collected their corpses. He knew that Mo Qingyun was using the corpses to feed I-Demon. Therefore, the corpses of the Qin family members could not be wasted. Let's go to the Qin family. Seeing that Qi Lian had killed the remaining members of the Qin family, Mo Qingyun did not plan to stay any longer. He left some instructions for Qi Lian and headed to the Qin family. "Patriarch Long, let me give you one last piece of advice. If you don't want the Long family to decline, the Long family should keep a distance from the Long family." When Mo Qingyun took a step forward, he paused and said coldly with his back facing Long Wancho. After he finished speaking, Mo Qingyun ignored Long Wancho, who was furious after hearing his words. "Scoundrel, a brat thinks that he is invincible after getting help from a vicious person. How infuriating." Long Wancho's expression was ferocious. The veins on his neck bulged as he spoke in anger. When they saw Long Wancho's expression, Tang Zhan and Yi Jingtian's eyes were filled with pity. Anyone with discerning eyes could see that the rise of the Tianyin manor was unstoppable. Now, Long Wancho wanted to stand in front of Mo Qingyun because of some personal feelings. This was not a wise move. His action was pushing the Long family into the abyss. In other words, he was no longer suitable to be the patriarch of the Long family. Of course, this was an internal matter of the Long family. Tang Zhan and the others were not in a position to interfere. Tang Zhan shook his head regretfully and said to Long Wancho, "Patriarch Long, since this is the case, I will take my leave first." Before Long Wancho could reply, Tang Zhan walked out of the Long family's mansion. What a joke. Mo Qingyun was the master of Qi Lian, which meant that he was the master of his master. Now, that Mo Qingyun and the Long family were in conflict. How could he continue to stay and drink? Brother Wancho, since this is the case, I will take my leave first. When Yi Jingtian saw Tang Zhan leave, he smiled faintly at Long Wancho and was about to leave as well. However, before Yi Jingtian left, he turned to look at Long Wancho and reminded him, Brother Wancho, Mo Qingyun has unlimited potential. You have to fight for him. Having a grandson-in-law like him is better than having an enemy like him. Yi Jingtian did not wait for Long Wancho to reply and walked out of the Long family's mansion, following which the other patriarchs of the various large families also used various excuses to leave. In this way, Long Wancho's 100th birthday celebration ended with a tiger's head but a snake's head. Seeing this scene, Long Wancho's face immediately darkened. He clenched his fists and gnashed his teeth. Damned Mo Qingyun, not only did you speak rudely to this old man, but you also ruined this old man's 100th birthday. In this lifetime, don't even think of marrying Han Yin. From today onwards, Han Yin is forbidden to have any contact with Mo Qingyun. Chapter 424. After leaving the Long family, the family heads didn't return to their families immediately. Instead, they followed behind Mo Qingyun and headed towards the Qin family. They all wanted to see if Mo Qingyun was really planning to destroy the Qin family when he went there. After a while, everyone followed Mo Qingyun to the Qin residence. When they arrived outside the Qin residence, Mo Qingyun's face turned cold. He ordered Qi Lian, do it. Don't let anyone go. Yes, young lord, Qi Lian responded. His body moved and entered the Qin mansion in a flash. Qi Lian had followed Mo Qingyun for many years. He knew what Mo Qingyun was thinking. Hell, demon dragon portrait. After entering the Qin residence, Qi Lian didn't say anything and summoned the Heaven Star constellation art. The moment the Hell Demon Dragon portrait appeared, it emitted a blood-red light and a terrifying aura. It enveloped the entire Qin residence, following which the entire sky above the Qin manor immediately turned dark. It was as eerie and terrifying as the demonic realm of hell. What's going on? What's going on? Who's so bold to cause trouble in the Qin family? Are you tired of living? How dare you cause trouble in the Qin residence? Stay here today. When the Qin residence was enveloped by the Hell Demon Dragon portrait, the people in the Qin residence were alarmed, following which figures flew out from the Qin residence's courtyard. They stopped in midair and emitted the aura of the Pill Palace and Heaven Star constellation. When these people arrived in midair, they saw Qi Lian above the Qin manor. Their faces darkened. This crimson-haired old man actually came directly to the Qin clan and provoked them. This wasn't something the Qin residents could tolerate. You're courting death. A Heaven Star constellation stage 3 expert from the Qin residence said angrily. He then turned to the people behind him and said, People of the Qin residence, listen up. Attack together with me and kill this intruder. Yes, Elder Qin Yuan. The crowd behind the third-level Heavenly Dipper Sovereign nodded in agreement. Following that, everyone quickly surrounded Qi Lian, surrounding him in the middle and attacking him together. Qi Lian smiled in disdain when he saw the actions of the people from the Qin residence. He sneered, a group of old, weak, sick, and disabled people actually dare to attack this old man. In that case, this old man will send you all to accompany Qin Bin and the others. After Qi Lian finished speaking, he did not hesitate to attack the people from the Qin clan. Shortly after, one by one, the infernal demonic dragons flew out from the infernal demonic dragon portrait. The moment the Hell Devil Dragon appeared, it charged towards the experts from the Qin manor. In the blink of an eye, more than 10 experts from the Qin manor were killed. What a terrifying Big Dipper picture. Seeing Qi Lian make his move, Qin Yuan's expression changed. He was shocked as he said, This person is very strong. Pill Palace Realm cultivators quickly retreat from the battle. Heaven Dipper Realm elders immediately summon the Heaven Dipper picture and kill this person with me. Following that, streaks of imposing Big Dipper totems appeared above the Qin Manor. Bang, bang, bang. Once these Big Dipper totems appeared, they charged towards the infernal demonic dragons. When they collided, there was a deafening sound. After a few exchanges, the Big Dipper pictures of the Heaven Dipper realm elders from the Qin family shattered under the attacks of the infernal demonic dragons. As the Big Dipper pictures shattered, they were killed by Qi Lian one after another. They fell to the ground from midair. Seeing the Heaven Dipper realm elders from the Qin family being killed one by one, Qin Yuan's expression was filled with anger and respect. He said in a deep voice, "Who are you? Why are you attacking the Qin family? You can ask Qin Bin about this after you die." Hearing Qin Yuan's words, Emo Qingyun's expression turned cold as he replied to Qin Yuan, "New Year's Day 4? Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Qin Yuan was shocked. He was surprised by Emo Qingyun's sudden interruption. After a short moment of surprise, his face darkened as he said coldly, "Humph, you're just a kid. How dare you interfere with the Qin family's affairs? You're courting death." After Elder Qin Yuan said that, he moved and charged towards Emo Qingyun rapidly. He slammed his palm down on Emo Qingyun. It seemed like he was going to kill Emo Qingyun to vent his anger from Qi Lian's massacre of the Qin family. Bang! However, before Qin Yuan could reach Emo Qingyun, he was sent flying by a terrifying palm force. Puff! Under the force of the palm force, Qin Yuan immediately spat out a mouthful of blood. He was shocked as he looked at the middle-aged man behind Emo Qingyun. Tang Zhan. The person who blocked his attack for Emo Qingyun and injured him was the palace master of the blood-refining palace, Tang Zhan. Qin Yuan looked at Tang Zhan in surprise. He was confused and resentful as he said, "Palace Master Tang, the Qin family has never offended you or the blood-refining palace. Why are you interfering with the Qin family's affairs?" "I don't care about the Qin family's affairs. However, if anyone wants to lay a finger on Mr. Emo, they'll have to ask my fist first." Tang Zhan sneered, clenched his fists, and uttered a cold sentence. Upon hearing Tang Zhan's words, Elder Qin Yuan's expression immediately froze. He looked at Tang Zhan in disbelief. He did not expect Tang Zhan to think so highly of the young man in front of him, who was in level 4 Yuan Dan realm. At this moment, Elder Qin Yuan was shocked and looked at Emo Qingyun in a daze. Nearly half of the Qin family's Heavenly Dipper realm cultivation elders had already been slaughtered under Qi Lian's powerful attack. The remaining Heavenly Dipper realm elders were most likely already spent. "Madman, I'll fight you to the death." Seeing the Qin family's Heaven Dipper realm elders being killed one by one, Qin Yuan ignored Emo Qingyun and attacked Qi Lian crazily. It seemed like he was ready to fight with his life on the line. As Qin Yuan started to fight with his life on the line, the other elders of the Qin family also started to fight with their lives on the line. However, no matter how hard Qin Yuan and the others fought, they still could not escape the fate of being killed. They were killed by Qi Lian one after another. Just like that, 2 hours later, there were no more Heaven Dipper realm elders in the sky above the Qin Manor. They were all killed by Qi Lian. After killing the Heaven Dipper realm elders of the Qin family, Qi Lian did not hesitate and continued to attack the Yuan Dan and Pill Palace. After 2 hours, there was no one left alive in the Qin family. The Qin family was annihilated. After seeing this scene, the people from the various great clans who had followed Emo Qingyun to the Qin mansion immediately felt their hearts tremble. In Flame City, a powerful family that was only weaker than the 5 superpowers was annihilated by Emo Qingyun just like that. At this moment, everyone finally knew how terrifying the Tianyan Manor was. The Qin Manor has been annihilated. I did not expect the red-haired old man to be so strong. It seems like we have underestimated his strength. Where did that Emo Qingyun come from? Why is there such an expert following him? What I don't understand is why the blood-refining hall master, Tang Zhan, would protect him. Chapter 425. At this moment, Qi Lian lifted his hand and took away the corpses of the Qin family members. Then, Qi Lian began to plunder the Qin Mansion's collection. Seeing Qi Lian's actions, some of the people outside the Qin Mansion began to think. Now that the Qin family no longer existed, could they take the opportunity to fish in troubled waters and enter the Qin Mansion to get some benefits? As soon as this thought came to their minds, some of the people outside the Qin Mansion revealed greedy expressions. Soon, under the influence of their desires, these people gradually lost their rationality. Then, some of them secretly snuck into the Qin Mansion with a fluke mentality. Humph! It seems that there are quite a few people in this world who are not afraid of death. Seeing these people's actions, Emo Qingyun's lips curled up slightly and a cold smile appeared on his face. His eyes became colder. As he spoke, Emo Qingyun released his soul power and locked onto the few people's whereabouts, leaving a soul mark on them. After leaving a soul mark on them and locking onto their whereabouts, Emo Qingyun did not hesitate and sent a message to Qi Lian through soul sensing, asking him to order Tang Fengtu and the others to come over. After receiving Emo Qingyun's message, Qi Lian did not hesitate and immediately sent a message to Tang Fengtu and the others, ordering them to come to the Qin Mansion immediately. After sending a message to Qi Lian, Emo Qingyun said to Tang Zhan in a deep voice, "Palace Master Tang, I have something to trouble you with now. Mr. Emo, if you need anything, just let me know." After hearing this, Tang Zhan immediately showed a respectful expression and responded to Emo Qingyun. Emo Qingyun's face was cold and indifferent. He scanned the people around the Qin Mansion and said coldly, "From now on, anyone who comes within 1 mile of the Qin Mansion will be killed without mercy." Okay. After hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Tang Zhan's face turned cold, and he emitted a strong murderous aura that swept towards the people around the Qin Mansion. After instructing Tang Zhan, Emo Qingyun looked at the people outside the Qin Mansion and said coldly, "I'll give you 10 breaths of time to retreat 1 mile away from the Qin Mansion immediately. Otherwise, you will stay in the Qin Mansion forever." After hearing Emo Qingyun's words, the people around the Qin Mansion immediately showed their displeasure and expressed their dissatisfaction with Emo Qingyun's words. "Emo Qingyun, aren't you a little too overbearing by doing this? That's right. Do you want the Tianyin Mansion to become the entire Flame Capital's forces?" Humph. Patriarch Lung is right. We can't continue to tolerate this kind of madman. Let's join hands and get rid of him. All of a sudden, all sorts of dissatisfied words came out from the mouths of the crowd. "You want to join forces?" Emo Qingyun's face sank when he heard that person's words. His eyes were filled with killing intent as he said to Tang Zhan, "Temple Master Tang, kill that person for me. I want to see what other tricks the Lung clan has up their sleeves." All right. Hearing Emo Qingyun's words, Tang Zhan didn't hesitate and immediately attacked the instigator. Facing Tang Zhan, who was at the Midheaven Star Border Realm, these people couldn't resist at all and were killed in an instant. Seeing those people killed, the remaining people's pupils shrank and fear appeared on their faces. While they were shocked by Tang Zhan's actions, they also looked at Emo Qingyun with reverence in their eyes. At this moment, they suddenly realized that they had underestimated Emo Qingyun. Emo Qingyun's words seemed simple, but there was a lot of mystery hidden in them. Everyone present knew about the enmity between Emo Qingyun and the Lung family. Now that Emo Qingyun wanted to kill someone from the Lung family, no one could object. In this way, Emo Qingyun's killing of those people just now would be perfectly justified. Not only that, Emo Qingyun also took the initiative because of this. At this moment, if anyone dared to argue for those people, they were sent by the Lung family. Emo Qingyun could still kill them without hesitation. As for the real identity of those people who were killed, it didn't matter if they were sent by the Lung family. The important thing was that no one would offend Emo Qingyun for a dead person. It wasn't worth it. None of the people present would do such a thankless task. In this way, everyone could only follow Emo Qingyun's instructions and retreat a mile away from the Qin residence. Following which, the crowd revealed helpless expressions as they retreated towards the Qin residence. Seeing everyone's actions, Emo Qingyun smiled faintly. He was satisfied with their actions. At this moment, while everyone was retreating outside the Qin residence, some of the people who had entered the Qin residence with the intention of taking advantage of the situation also followed the crowd and left the Qin residence. Seeing these people's actions, Mo Qingyun sneered. He ordered Tang Zhan to capture those people. In a short while, those people were captured by Tang Zhan and brought to Mo Qingyun. Seeing the people in front of him, Mo Qingyun's expression turned cold. He said coldly, "The few of you took the spoils of war from the Tianyan mansion. Do you think you could just leave like this?" "What? What spoils of war? I don't understand what you're saying at all. You told us to leave the Qin residence immediately, and we did as you said. Now, you're detaining us. What is the meaning of this?" "Mo Qingyun, don't think that we'll be afraid of you just because you destroyed the Qin family." After being detained by Tang Zhan, the people immediately became furious. They complained to Mo Qingyun. Seeing their reaction, Mo Qingyun's disdain for them became stronger. If it wasn't for the soul imprint that Mo Qingyun had left on them, he might have thought that he had made a mistake. One had to admit that these people's acting skills were on point. I'll give you 3 breaths of time to consider. Take the initiative to hand over the things you obtained from the Qin residence and get lost. Otherwise, die. Mo Qingyun didn't want to waste time talking nonsense with these people. He directly said these cold words. If you want to condemn someone, you can always accuse them. If you want to kill me, then kill me. I, Jiao Wei, am not a coward who's afraid of death." As soon as Mo Qingyun's words fell, one of them pretended to be calm and said something that didn't seem to fear death. "Kill." Hearing this person's words, Mo Qingyun's face darkened. He ordered Tang Zhan. After hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Tang Zhan didn't hesitate at all. He directly raised his hand and killed him. Seeing that the former was killed, the remaining people's faces twitched. Reverence appeared on their faces. They really didn't expect Mo Qingyun to be so straightforward. He didn't waste time talking nonsense with them. 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Chapter 426. Time's up. When these words fell into the ears of the few people, their expressions immediately twitched and fear appeared on their faces. Should they hand it over or not? At this moment, a myriad of thoughts ran through their minds, and they began to hesitate. If they handed it over, they could save their lives. If they did not hand it over, they might be killed immediately. After a moment of silence, at this moment, one of them made up his mind. With a cold and arrogant expression, he said, "Humph, I didn't take anything from the Qin mansion. It's useless even if you accuse me. Moreover, the Qin mansion's things aren't the Tianyan mansion's things. What right do you have to stop us from taking them?" "That's right. The Qin mansion's things aren't the Tianyan mansion's things. What right do you have to stop us from taking them?" When the others heard that, they chimed in one after another. "Kill him." When Mo Qingyun heard the person's words, his face immediately darkened. He ordered Tang Zhan to kill him. He did not want to waste his breath on him. "Mo Qingyun, you're inhumane. You'll be punished by the heavens if you do this." When the person saw Mo Qingyun's actions, he was immediately enraged and said furiously. However, when he saw Tang Zhan attacking him, he panicked and begged for mercy. "Mo Qingyun, I'll hand it over. I'll hand it over. Please don't kill me." However, at this moment, before he could finish speaking, Tang Zhan's palm descended and directly obliterated him. "What's wrong with all of you?" When Mo Qingyun saw that Tang Zhan had killed the person, he looked at the others coldly and waited for their reply. When they saw Mo Qingyun looking at them, the remaining people immediately trembled. Their teeth chattered as they chattered, producing a crisp sound. Mo Qingyun's ruthlessness and decisiveness had far exceeded their expectations. From the looks of it, Mo Qingyun would definitely not waste his breath on them. The only choice they had was to hand over the things they had obtained or die. As for their threats, Mo Qingyun was not afraid at all. Now, that Mo Qingyun had grown up, he wasn't even afraid of the Lung family and the Long family. Why would he be afraid of a few threatening words? Besides, even if they joined forces, what could they do to Mo Qingyun? With all these forces working together, would they be stronger than the Lung family and the Long family? Also, even if they joined forces, could they really unite as one? After thinking about this, the remaining few people revealed helpless expressions on their faces. From the looks of it, if they wanted to live, they could only hand over the things they had obtained from the Qin residents. Immediately after, the few of them no longer hesitated and handed over the items they had obtained. From their point of view, although the Qin clan's treasures were precious, compared to their own lives, everything else seemed unimportant. No matter how good the item was, one had to be alive to use it. Seeing their actions, Mo Qingyun said coldly, "Leave your Qinquan bags behind and get lost." Mo Qingyun, don't go too far. Not all of the items in our Qinquan bags belong to the Qin clan. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, a person immediately showed his displeasure and said discontentedly. Hearing this person's words, Mo Qingyun's eyes became colder. He said coldly, "I'm going too far. What can you do?" After saying this, Mo Qingyun stopped talking nonsense with them and said to Tang Zhan, "Within 3 breaths, if they don't leave their Qinquan bags behind, kill them directly." Seeing Mo Qingyun's domineering attitude, these people were angry and looked at Mo Qingyun with gritted teeth. However, although they were angry, they didn't dare to express their dissatisfaction and handed over their Qinquan bags obediently. Seeing that they had handed over their Qinquan bags, Mo Qingyun raised his hand and took them into his hand. Then he checked them. After verifying that there were no mistakes, Mo Qingyun's complexion turned for the better. He waved his hand and said, "Scram. In the future, keep your eyes open. My Mo Qingyun's, things are not that easy to take." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the few of them were inwardly enraged and left indignantly. Mo Qingyun didn't care about their dissatisfaction. They were all useless and cowardly people. At this moment, when those people left, many figures flew quickly to Qin's mansion. Tang Fengtu and the others were here. "Greetings, Mr. Mo, Temple Master." Tang Fengtu and the others came to Qin's mansion and immediately bowed to Mo Qingyun and Tang Fengtu respectfully. "Well, no need to be so polite." Mo Qingyun nodded in response. He waved his hand and said, "Fengtu, take some people to search the Qin clan's collection." "Yes." Tang Fengtu nodded and took some people from the blood refining hall into Qin's mansion to search the Qin clan's collection. After instructing Tang Fengtu, Mo Qingyun looked at Tang Rui and said, "Tang Rui, take some people to guard here. Don't let anyone get close to Qin's mansion. Take the opportunity to fish in troubled waters. If anyone comes close, kill them. Tang Zhan, let's go." After instructing Tang Rui and Tang Fengtu, Mo Qingyun didn't plan to stay any longer. He signaled to Tang Zhan and turned to leave Qin's mansion. After leaving Qin's mansion, Mo Qingyun returned to Tianyin Mansion. There were only 2 days left until the Academy Annual Competition and the Triennial Academy Grand Competition. He planned to take advantage of this period of time to stabilize his cultivation and advance further. After a while, Mo Qingyun returned to Tianyin Mansion under Tang Zhan's escort. Not long after Mo Qingyun returned to Tianyin Mansion, Qi Yin and the others also returned to Tianyin Mansion. They handed over all the Qin clan's items to Mo Qingyun. The Qin clan was indeed a powerful clan that was only weaker than the 5 major forces. Its wealth was dozens of times more than the Liu clan's. Other than its wealth being dozens of times more than the Liu clan's, the various precious treasures of a Qin clan were also far from what the Liu clan could compare with. This is the meteorite thunder essence crystal, deceiving cloud illusion beast's inner core, lightning eyes demonic beast's eye. After that, Mo Qingyun began to check the Qin clan's collection. All kinds of precious treasures appeared before Mo Qingyun's eyes. Looking at the treasures in front of him, Mo Qingyun was pleasantly surprised. He said in ecstasy, "With these items, I can refine the 9-melody star-breaking pill and increase the number of Heaven Star border experts in Tianyin Mansion." Then, Mo Qingyun began to check the other items with excitement. Space-time meteorite stone, winged dragon horn, blazing parasol tree soil. As Mo Qingyun continued to check, all kinds of precious items were reflected in Mo Qingyun's eyes again. After a few hours, under Mo Qingyun's continuous checking, the Qin clan's collection that had lasted for hundreds of years was finally checked by Mo Qingyun. The richness of the Qin clan's wealth was far beyond Mo Qingyun's imagination. Of course, apart from being surprised, Mo Qingyun was also pleasantly surprised. With the help of the Qin clan's wealth, Tianyan Mansion's strength would definitely soar in a short period of time. Chapter 427. After taking stock of the Qin family's loot, Mo Qingyun sorted out the items in front of him and put them into his Qinquan bag. A moment later, all the items were put away by Mo Qingyun, leaving only some green wood and some silver stones. With the help of the spiritual evergreen wood and glazed thunderstone, the difficulty of comprehending the profound of wood and thunder will be reduced to the extreme. Looking at the green wood and silver stones in front of him, he was pleasantly surprised. He didn't expect the Qin family to have such items in their collection. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun was pleasantly surprised, the 9 temples in the Soul Palace said excitedly, This is space-time meteorite stone, Tai returning wood, gilded time jade. The 9 temples excitedly said the names of the materials one by one, then said to Mo Qingyun, Young lord, these are all rare materials for setting up a time shift formation. If you use these materials to set up a time shift formation, the time shift formation can be sped up to 15 times. Reach the level of 15 times? That's a 15 times time shift formation. Hearing the 9 temples' words, Mo Qingyun's expression immediately changed, and he became excited. If that was the case, wouldn't the cultivation speed of everyone in the Tianyan Manor be increased by 15 times? 15 times cultivation speed. If this news were to spread, it would probably shock many people. This way, the time it would take for the Tianyan Manor to rise in the Flame Capital would be greatly reduced. With this thought, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and immediately said to the 9 temples, If that's the case, let's not hesitate and set up the formation immediately. Then Mo Qingyun and the 9 temples set up a 15 times time shift formation together. However, Mo Qingyun didn't set up the time shift formation in the Tianyan Manor. Instead, he set it up in the Hexian Palace. This way, the eye demons in the Hexian Palace could also rapidly increase their strength under the effects of the time shift formation. Mo Qingyun was looking forward to seeing Eye Devil's power increase. Back in Linyan City, Eye Devil, who was only at the Yuan Dan realm, could easily kill the high-level experts of the Pill Palace. If Eye Devil's strength were to reach the Pill Palace realm in the future, would she be able to kill a Heaven Dipper realm expert? Thinking of this, the anticipation in Mo Qingyun's heart immediately became a little more urgent. If the Pill Palace realm Eye Demon could kill a Heaven Dipper Peak expert, then he wouldn't have to worry about Roba and Babing Peak. Of course, Mo Qingyun had set up the time transfer formation in the Hexian Palace to allow Eye Demon to use the power of the time transfer formation to quickly increase her cultivation. He had another idea. He planned to enter Hexian Palace to cultivate as an incentive for the Tianyan Mansion's juniors to cultivate. He would only allow those juniors who were talented or hardworking to cultivate to enter Hexian Palace to cultivate. In addition, those who had contributed greatly to the Tianyan Mansion and were loyal to the Tianyan Mansion would also have the opportunity to enter Hexian Palace to cultivate. After thinking of this, Mo Qingyun's train of thought became clear. He felt that this was feasible. A few hours later, with the cooperation of Mo Qingyun and the 9 temples, the 15-fold time transfer formation was finally set up. After the 15-fold time transfer formation was successfully set up, Mo Qingyun didn't hesitate anymore. He immediately let Eye Demon enter the time transfer formation to cultivate. While letting Eye Demon enter the time transfer formation to cultivate, Mo Qingyun also passed the corpses of the Qin family members to her. After he was done, Mo Qingyun carved out a small area in the area covered by the time-shifting formation and turned it into a simple cultivation room. It would be convenient for the people from Tianyin Mansion to cultivate in the future. About 2 hours later, with Mo Qingyun's hard work, 20 cultivation rooms were separated out. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun let his clone enter one of the cultivation rooms and cultivate inside. Then, he also entered a cultivation room and began to cultivate. After entering the cultivation room, Mo Qingyun didn't cultivate the legacy martial skill, Demon Fist shattering the Starry River. Instead, he began to refine the Jade Spirit Evergreen Wood to improve his Wood Profound. Currently, Mo Qingyun's Wood Profundity had already reached the 6th level. He planned to bring his Wood Profundity to perfection before the Academy Year competition so that his cultivation could take another step forward. After taking out the Jade Spirit Evergreen Wood from his Cosmos bag, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and began to refine it to improve his Wood Profound. As he continued to refine the Jade Spirit Evergreen Wood, the Wood Profound within the Jade Spirit Evergreen Wood was gradually digested and comprehended by Mo Qingyun. Following that, Mo Qingyun's Wood Profundity began to slowly increase. As Mo Qingyun's mastery of the Wood Profound meaning improved, the scene of a living being gradually appeared in his cultivation. Faint images appeared in his mind. In these images, there were scenes of plants growing and withering in the end, repeating back and forth. Of course, Mo Qingyun, who was completely focused on cultivating, didn't notice this. Just like that, time slowly passed as Mo Qingyun cultivated. In the blink of an eye, 15 days passed in the time transfer formation. At this moment, Mo Qingyun, who was cultivating, suddenly opened his eyes. Peak level 8 of Wood Profound. It's a pity that I didn't reach level 9. Mo Qingyun was a little disappointed. The results of his cultivation this time didn't reach the level he had expected. However, after a short period of disappointment, Mo Qingyun didn't pay too much attention to it. After all, many times imagination was one thing and reality was another. Plans could never keep up with changes. Today is already the day of the Academy competition. It's time to head to the Academy. With that thought, Mo Qingyun no longer hesitated and left Heixian Hall in a flash. After leaving Heixian Hall, Mo Qingyun sent a voice transmission to Qi Lian, asking him to follow him to the Academy. To Mo Qingyun's surprise, after Qi Lian received his voice transmission, he told him that he was in seclusion to refine the blood essence of Qin Bin and the others. After learning about Qi Lian's situation, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly, and he headed to Qi Lian's residence. He planned to let Qi Lian enter Heixian Hall to cultivate. This way, the efficiency of his cultivation would be much higher. After a while, Qi Lian entered Heixian Hall and entered a cultivation room to refine the blood essence of the Qin clan members. After sending Qi Lian to Heixian Hall, Mo Qingyun went to find Mo Hongtian and gave him some instructions. He asked Mo Hongtian to pick out some talented juniors from the Tianyin Mansion. After doing all this, Mo Qingyun found Tang Zhan and asked him to follow him to Dime Province. After that, Mo Qingyun, accompanied by Tang Zhan, arrived at the Hidden Dragon Institute. At this moment, what surprised Mo Qingyun was that other than the students of the Institute, there were also many people from the major families of the Flame Capital. Seeing the confusion on Mo Qingyun's face, Tang Zhan smiled faintly and explained, "Young Lord, during the Triennial Academy competition in Dime Province, the major families are invited to watch. Today is the day of the Triennial Academy competition in Dime Province." I see. Chapter 428. Next, Mo Qingyun and Tang Zhan chatted as they walked into the Hidden Dragon Institute. Inside the Hidden Dragon Institute, some of the family heads and elders of the Flame Capital families immediately greeted them respectfully when they saw Mo Qingyun and Tang Zhan approaching. After the incident at the Qin Manor, Mo Qingyun's prestige in the Flame Capital was now no less than Tang Zhan and the others. In terms of ferocity, Mo Qingyun's reputation seemed to be even greater. After all, in the short span of a year, he had destroyed two of the top factions in the Flame Capital. Even the five great factions could not do such a thing. In response to their actions, Mo Qingyun nodded indifferently and sent them away. After sending away those who had come to befriend him, Mo Qingyun and Tang Zhan continued to walk towards the Wind Hall. As a disciple of the Wind Hall, Mo Qingyun naturally had to go with Lin Tang and the others to participate in the Academy tournament. On the way to the Wind Hall, Mo Qingyun and Tang Zhan bumped into Tang Fengtu and Tang Rue, who had arrived with the people of the Blood Refining Hall. Mr. Mo, Hall Master, Tang Fengtu and the others immediately showed respect when they saw Mo Qingyun and Tang Zhan. They bowed to Mo Qingyun and Tang Zhan. Tang Fengtu asked respectfully, "Palace Master, I have received an invitation from the Hidden Dragon Institute. They want us to attend the inter-school tournament. Are you coming with us?" Hearing Tang Fengtu's words, Mo Qingyun immediately understood his meaning. He waved his hand at Tang Zhan and said, "You go, I will go to the Wind Hall alone. No one in the Hidden Dragon Institute dares to touch me." "Yes." Hearing this, Tang Zhan nodded and left with Tang Fengtu and the others. After parting with Tang Zhan and the others, Mo Qingyun continued to walk towards the Wind Hall. A short while later, Mo Qingyun arrived at the Wind Hall and saw Lin Tang and the others who were ready to go. When Lin Tang saw Mo Qingyun's arrival, he glared at Mo Qingyun and pretended to be displeased as he said, "Brat, you've finally come. If you had come any later, I would have gone to the Tianyin mansion to capture you." Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said, "Something came up and delayed me for a while." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lin Tang and the rest shook their heads helplessly and laughed bitterly. "You really have a lot of problems. You just returned to Flame City not long ago, and you're already so restless." Lin Tang continued, "However, what I didn't expect was that a family as strong as the Qin family would actually fall in your hands. Just how many secrets are you hiding?" "Hee, you'll know in the future." In response to Lin Tang's words, Mo Qingyun laughed awkwardly and didn't reply directly. Lin Tang didn't say much about Mo Qingyun's reply. He only revealed a mischievous smile and said, "However, the next time you fight with someone, inform me first." This old man hasn't exercised his muscles for a long time. Hearing Lin Tang's words, Lin Shi and the others were dumbfounded. They all smiled bitterly. Like master, like disciple. Mo Qingyun was indeed Lin Tang's disciple. Their personalities were too similar. After laughing bitterly, Lin Shi looked at Lin Tang and pretended to be displeased. "Big brother, Qingyun is young and frivolous. Are you going to blindly interfere?" Hearing Lin Shi's words, Lin Tang smiled awkwardly and said, "Haha, let's not talk about this. Let's go to the Academy's Central Square." Following Lin Tang's words, everyone stood up and walked towards the Hidden Dragon Academy's Central Square. "Qingyun, these two are Wang Kai and Li Zheng. They will be participating in the Earth Class Year battle with you. Later on, you have to take care of them." On the way to the Central Square, Lin Tang smiled and pointed at the two youths who were at the peak of Yuan Dance Stage 6. "Okay." Hearing Lin Tang's words, Mo Qingyun glanced at Wang Kai and Li Zheng and nodded at Lin Tang. "If that's the case, we'll thank Junior Mo in advance." Seeing Mo Qingyun's gaze turn towards the two of them, Wang Kai and Li Zheng immediately revealed a respectful expression and thanked Mo Qingyun. They had already heard about Mo Qingyun's matters. In the Long Clan, Mo Qingyun was able to easily defeat Qin Hao, who was ranked 5th on the Earth ranking. His strength definitely surpassed the two of them. Thus, in the upcoming battle, it wasn't impossible for them to rely on Mo Qingyun to take care of them. Lin Tang introduced Mo Qingyun to Wang Kai and Li Zheng. Then, Lin Tang introduced Mo Qingyun to the Earth Class students and the Heaven Class students who were participating in the battle of the New Generation battle. These people's attitudes towards Mo Qingyun were similar to Wang Kai and Li Zhang. Even Ning Wei, who had met Mo Qingyun once in the heaven class, had a look of reverence on his face. It seemed that Mo Qingyun's destruction of the Qin clan had already made Ning Wei and the others revere him. After about 15 minutes, Mo Qingyun and the others arrived at the central square. The central square's shape was similar to the ancient Roman Colosseum. In the middle was a huge circular field, and around the field were rows of spectator seats. These spectator seats were arranged in the shape of a ladder. The higher the level, the more seats there were. With a rough estimate, the entire spectator seats could hold about 100,000 people. At this moment, the spectator seats were already filled with people. The east, west, and south sides were all filled with people. They were all from the various factions of Flame City. They had received an invitation from the Hidden Dragon College to participate in an inter-school tournament. As for the north side of the spectator seats, it was where the hall masters and elders of the various palaces Saturday. However, at this moment, in the middle of the hall masters and elders of the various palaces sat a middle-aged man with a golden crown on his head. He was the great Yin dynasty's king of flame, Yi Jingtian. After a simple glance at the spectator seats, Mo Qingyun's gaze shifted to the bottom of the spectator seats. There were many small platforms there. On each platform, the name of a palace was written. These small platforms were where the disciples of the various palaces who were participating in the inter-school tournament would gather. Below these small platforms was the Colosseum area. The Colosseum area was extremely large. It was close to 10,000 acres. At this moment, there were many fighting platforms set up in the middle of the Colosseum. On these fighting platforms, there were array runes flashing. It seemed like these fighting platforms were stabilized by array runes. In addition, beside these fighting platforms, there were many black cages. Inside these cages, there were many bewitching cold lights. These cold lights were the eyes of demonic beasts. There are demonic beasts locked up in these cages. Seeing the black cages beside the fighting platforms, Mo Qingyun's expression changed. He was a little surprised by this discovery. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun was shocked by the demonic beasts beside the fighting platforms, Lin Tang pointed at a flowing light tunnel and said to Mo Qingyun and the rest, "Follow this tunnel. According to the instructions in the tunnel, you can ascend to the cloud platform of Wind Palace." Chapter 429. After entering the light tunnel, Mo Qingyun saw that some students from the other side halls were heading towards the tunnel. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun followed the crowd and walked towards the tunnel. After walking for a while, Mo Qingyun saw many forks in the tunnel that led to the cloud platforms of the other side halls. Then, Mo Qingyun and the rest walked while looking for the forks that led to the wind hall. However, what Mo Qingyun did not expect was that while he was looking for the forks that led to the wind hall, he actually met Lu Fangliang and the rest in the tunnel. At present, Lu Fangliang and the rest were looking for the forks that led to the other side halls with the people from the other side halls. After sizing up Lu Fangliang and the rest, Mo Qingyun was surprised to see that Ruo Shui was also with Lu Fangliang and the rest. Looking at her, she should have fully recovered from her injuries and was preparing to participate in the battle of the best newcomers. "Qingyun, thank you for finding the Millennium Ice Lotus for me to refine the Ice Dew Gold Pill." Seeing Mo Qingyun approaching, Ruo Shui smiled sweetly and thanked Mo Qingyun. Hearing Ruo Shui's words, Mo Qingyun waved his hand and smiled faintly. "No need to thank me. Speaking of which, your injuries were caused by me. Finding the Millennium Ice Lotus to refine the Ice Dew Gold Pill to save you is what I should do." After exchanging greetings with Lu Fangliang and the rest, Mo Qingyun looked puzzled and asked, "Brother Lu, you guys are?" Mo Qingyun was puzzled. Everyone came with their respective hall masters, so it was normal for them to bump into each other. However, now that Long Yutian and the rest were all together, it was a little unusual. Seeing Mo Qingyun's puzzled expression, Long Yutian took a sip of wine and smiled awkwardly. "It's like this. The first round of the Academy's annual battle is an elimination battle. 100 side halls will be arranged to fight together. I wanted to discuss with everyone. If everyone is assigned together, we can cooperate in the battle later. Boss, do you want to join hand with us? After hearing Long Yutian's words, Ling Luo's face lit up with excitement. He looked at Mo Qingyun with anticipation. Hearing Ling Luo's words, Mo Qingyun revealed a helpless expression. He smiled bitterly and said, I'm participating in the Earth grade battle. I'm afraid I won't be able to join you guys. Ugh. As soon as Mo Qingyun said that, Long Yutian and the others were dumbfounded. Their faces turned gloomy. However, after a brief moment of depression, Long Yutian chuckled and said, without Qingyun participating in the battle of the newcomers, we might have a chance to obtain first place. Not bad. Hearing this, Ling Luo's eyes lit up. He looked at Long Yutian and the others and said with a smirk, Brother Liang, Brother Long, I won't go easy on you when the time comes, he. A bunch of trash, trying to get first place in the best newcomer king battle? Dream on. At that moment, while Mo Qingyun and the others were talking, a disdainful voice was heard. Hearing the disdainful voice, Mo Qingyun and the others' expressions changed, and they looked at the person who spoke. They saw Leng Hui leading a group of people and looking at Mo Qingyun and the others with disdain. After glancing at Mo Qingyun and the others, Leng Hui's face darkened. He said to a young man beside him, Hun Qian, teach these guys a lesson in the best newcomer king battle later. Mr. Leng Hui, I don't need you to say anything. I will let them know the consequences of offending Mr. Leng Hui. Hun Qian replied to Leng Hui with a dark smile. Very good. As long as you work for me, I won't mistreat you. Leng Hui nodded in satisfaction at Hun Qian's reply. He looked at Mo Qingyun and the others and said with a smile, Hun Qian's ranking in the grand examination is higher than yours. Do you still think you have a chance of getting first place in the best newcomer king battle? After saying those proud words, Leng Hui smiled coldly and said to Mo Qingyun, Mo Qingyun, if you don't want your friends to be crippled in the best newcomer king battle later, cripple your own cultivation now and kowtow to me. Then, take the people from the Tianyin mansion and scram out of Flame City. Mo Qingyun understood Leng Hui's intention. He wanted Hun Qian to cripple Lu Fangliang and the others in the best newcomer king battle. Leng Hui, ranking high in the grand examination doesn't mean he can get a good result in the best newcomer king battle. At that moment, Yi Wuyo walked over with a group of people and replied unhappily. She looked at Leng Hui with disgust. From Yi Wuyo's appearance, she should be representing her branch hall in the best newcomer king battle. Hearing Yi Wuyo's words, Leng Hui was first stunned, then he sneered. Wuyo, that's not good. No matter what, I'm about to become your fiancé. How can you go against us at every turn? Pa, I won't marry someone like you. Yi Wuyo showed some anger when she heard Leng Hui's words. She said coldly, Leng Hui, I will defeat you in front of everyone in the best newcomer king battle and shatter your dreams. Haha, is that so? When Leng Hui heard this, he smiled nonchalantly and said, Wuyo, after hearing your words, I'm really looking forward to the upcoming battle between you and me. Leng Hui smiled proudly. After replying to Yi Wuyo, he looked at Mo Qingyun and said, Mo Qingyun, don't think that Hun Qian's cultivation hasn't broken through to the first layer, fourth layer because his talent isn't enough. This is caused by our Leng family's ancestor using a secret technique. When the time comes, your friend will be crippled by Hun Qian, haha. Leng Hui, you're despicable and shameless. Hearing Leng Hui's words, Yi Wuyo and the others were enraged and began to curse at Leng Hui. Senior Wuyo, it's just a mad dog. There's no need to pay attention to it. Seeing the proud faces of Leng Hui and the others, Mo Qingyun showed some impatience. He said to Yi Wuyo and the others, there's no need to get angry with a mad dog. The more you pay attention to it, the more it will bark. Just ignore it. Haha, that's true. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Yi Wuyo and the others immediately smiled and agreed with Mo Qingyun's words. Following that, Yi Wuyo and the others followed behind Imo Qingyun and walked into the tunnel. Seeing that Yi Wuyo and the others ignored him, Leng Hui was immediately dumbfounded. He felt as if he had punched cotton and couldn't exert any strength. When this feeling appeared, Leng Hui became furious. He looked at Imo Qingyun and gnashed his teeth. Imo Qingyun, don't be so proud. In the Earth grade class competition, I'll definitely find someone to deal with you. After saying those words of hatred, Leng Hui didn't continue to stay and looked for the path to his branch palace. After a while, Imo Qingyun and the others found the paths to the various palaces and headed towards the cloud platform of their respective branch palaces. Boom, boom, boom. When Imo Qingyun and the others walked onto the cloud platform of the Wind Palace, the cloud platform of the Wind Palace immediately rose and floated in the air. It was supported by a cloud. So this is what the cloud platform means. Chapter 430. When Imo Qingyun ascended the cloud platform, the student from the other palaces also ascended the cloud platforms one after another. In an instant, the genius students from the other palaces were sent into the air by the cloud platforms. About 2 hours later, all the cloud platforms in the central square were suspended in the air. Seeing that all the cloud platforms were suspended in the air, Huang Zhengya, who was sitting on the north side of the auditorium, said seriously, "Since all the students from the other palaces are here, the Academy tournament will officially begin." As soon as Huang Zhongyue finished speaking, an elder behind him walked up and added, "It's time for the Triennial Academy tournament again. This time, the Academy tournament will be the same as before. Students from all 3 classes will compete at the same time. Divide the battle areas." As soon as the elder finished speaking, he gestured to the elders in the central square to divide the battle areas. Subsequently, the Academy elders in the central square began to act, dividing the battle in the central square into different areas. Boom, boom, boom. A series of sounds came from the ground. Then, everyone saw that the battle platforms in the central square started to move. In a short while, the battle platforms in the central square were divided into 3 areas for the students from the 3 classes to fight. After the battle platforms were divided into 3 areas, the battle platforms in each area were combined to form a huge battle platform. Next, I will announce the rules of the Academy tournament. The first round will be an elimination battle. 100 palaces will form a group and fight on the same battle platform. Seeing that the battle platforms were divided into areas, the elder's face turned serious and said again, "In addition, during the process of fighting, there will be demonic beasts fighting with you. Therefore, during the process of fighting, you have to be careful of the demonic beast's sneak attacks. Finally, the 10 palaces left on the battle platform will advance to the next round. During the battle, no one is allowed to kill." The elder explained the rules of the battle to everyone one by one. After explaining the rules of the battle, the elder took out a name list and said, "Now, the palaces whose names I have announced will be the first group in the elimination battle. Fire Palace, Soul Palace, Flower Palace, Valley Palace." Next, the elder read out the names of the 100 palaces one by one. Tut, tut, tut. As the old man read out the names of the 100 branch halls, a flight of stairs appeared in the air, connecting to the cloud platforms of the various branch halls, allowing the disciples of these branch halls to ascend to the battle stage. Seeing the scaling ladders appear, the disciples of the human class from the various palaces did not hesitate and stepped onto the scaling ladders one after another, walking up to the battle stage. Clang, clang, clang. As the disciples from the various palaces stepped onto the battle stage, the cages surrounding the battle stage were opened one after another. Asterisk roar. Asterisk as soon as these cages were opened, the demonic beasts locked in them let out a heaven-shaking roar and walked onto the battle stage with an imposing aura. Necromancer Wolf. Seeing the demonic beast on the fighting ring, Imo Qingyun's expression immediately changed, revealing a look of surprise. The Necro Horn Wolf was a demonic beast that grew up in the battlefield. It was cruel and bloodthirsty by nature. Once it started fighting, it would not stop until it was dead. It was a demonic beast that gave people a headache. It's actually the Necro Hornwolf. Looks like the first round of elimination will not be so easy. Mo Qingyun's expression was solemn as he sighed. He then said, facing the sneak attack of the Necro Hornwolf, if you want to avoid casualties, you have to get rid of the Necro Hornwolf first. At this moment, just as Mo Qingyun was sighing in his heart, the battle on the battle stage had already begun. The students on the battle stage had the same idea as Mo Qingyun. When the battle started, they did not fight with each other, but joined forces to deal with the Necro Hornwolf first. However, these Necro Hornwolf were extremely strong and had the characteristic of not fearing death, so it was not easy to deal with them. At this moment, although the number of Necro Hornwolf on the battle stage was only 1/30th of the number of students, they still had the upper hand against the combined attack of 300 students. Now, as the battle of the human class began, the elder spoke again. Next, I will announce the names of the Earth Class Year Battle's first round of elimination. Spear Hall, Array Hall, Music Hall, Painting Hall, Wind Hall, Wind Hall. Hearing the elder's words, Mo Qingyun's expression changed slightly. He did not expect to be in the first group. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun's face was filled with surprise, the cloud ladder was connected to the cloud platform of the Wind Hall. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and walked up the cloud platform to the battle stage. When Mo Qingyun walked up the cloud ladder, Wang Kai and the other two beside him hurriedly followed. After a while, Mo Qingyun and the other two arrived on the battle stage. You are Mo Qingyun? When Mo Qingyun arrived on the battle stage, a golden-haired youth from the Spear Hall looked at Mo Qingyun with disdain. Junior Qingyun, this guy is Deng He, the golden-haired berserk spear who is ranked 3rd on the Heaven and Earth ranking list. Wang Kai had a look of awe on his face as he looked at the golden-haired youth in front of him. He whispered something into Mo Qingyun's ear. Ranked 3rd on the Earth ranking list. Hearing Wang Kai's words, Mo Qingyun was surprised. He was a bit surprised by this person's identity. Looking at Mo Qingyun, Deng He disdainfully said, a 4th-stage Yuan Dan boy can actually make Lung Hui take out 100 million spirit essence stones. He really thinks highly of you. Lung Hui took out 100 million spirit essence stones to deal with him. Hearing Deng He's words, Mo Qingyun was stunned once more. He sighed inwardly at how generous Lung Hui was. After saying these words of disdain, Deng He said, but this is also good. I can easily obtain 100 million spirit essence stones. These days, spirit essence stones are becoming easier and easier to earn. Ha, is that so? Hearing Deng He's words, Mo Qingyun smiled. He playfully said, but I'm afraid you'll be disappointed this time. Also, let me give you a word of advice. You'd best not have any ideas about that 100 million spirit essence stones. Otherwise, even if I gave you 100 million spirit essence stones, you still wouldn't be able to heal your injuries. Are you trying to scare me? Deng He involuntarily smiled when he heard Mo Qingyun's words. He said self-righteously, I, Deng He, hate people who think they're infallible the most. Since you're so confident in yourself, all the more reason for me to defeat you and viciously humiliate you. Roar. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun and Wang Kai were talking, the cage beside the battle stage opened. Several tall figures rushed out, emitting a gloomy and cold aura. These were the peak 6th-stage Yuan dance stage Necro Demon Wolves. As soon as the Necro Demon Wolves rushed out of the cage, they rushed towards the students on the battle stage. Senior Brother Deng, these Necro Demon Wolves are very strong. Why don't we work together to deal with them first, and then compete for the qualification to advance? After being attacked by the undead Demon Wolves, some of the students quickly approached Deng He and begged for his help. A bunch of trash. Are you worthy of working together with me? Hearing that person's words, Deng He said disdainfully and directly attacked that person. Bang! Under Deng He's attack, that person was immediately sent flying out of the battle stage, heavily injured. Seeing this scene, Wang Kai and the other man's expressions changed again, and their expressions became much more relaxed. At this moment, they finally believed Mo Qingyun's words and admired Mo Qingyun even more. Seeing Wang Kai and the other man's relaxed expressions, Mo Qingyun did not say anything more. He sat down cross-legged in the array and closed his eyes to rest. Seeing Mo Qingyun's actions, Wang Kai and the other man did not think too much and sat down beside Mo Qingyun. However, although Wang Kai and the other man sat down beside Mo Qingyun, they were not as calm as Mo Qingyun. Their eyes were still wide open as they observed the situation outside the array. At this moment, outside the array, the undead demon wolf that had been sent flying by Mo Qingyun saw that it could not break through the array and changed its target. It attacked the other students crazily. Next, the students on the battle stage subconsciously divided into several camps in the face of the undead demon wolf's attacks. A portion of the stronger students from the side halls formed their own camp and blocked the undead demon wolf's attacks. Their thoughts were the same as Mo Qingyun's. They did not kill the undead demon wolf, but only pushed it back and sent it flying to the side of the other students. In addition, in the process of pushing back the undead demon wolf, these students would occasionally take advantage of other students who were in danger. They would sneak attack them and send them flying off the battle stage, eliminating them from the battle stage. The remaining students who were of average strength formed groups of 3 to 5 to block the undead demon wolf's attacks. Some of them dodged the undead demon wolf's attacks and looked for targets to join forces with. As for the weakest students from the side halls, they became the targets of the undead demon wolf and the other students from the side halls. In this way, as time passed, the number of students on the battle stage decreased. An hour later, out of the 100 students on the battle stage, there were only 60 students from the side halls left. The number of undead demon wolves remained at 10. It seemed that everyone had the same idea. They planned to keep the undead demon wolves alive and attack the other students from the side halls. Of course, other than not wanting to kill the undead demon wolves, they were also worried that they would be attacked by the other students from the side halls while they were killing the undead demon wolves. As the number of students on the battle stage decreased, the pressure on the students on the battle stage increased. The frequency of the attacks also increased. Subsequently, the rate at which the students on the battle stage were eliminated from the side of the undead demon wolves increased. 2 hours later, there were less than 20 students from the side halls left on the battle stage. But now he has to participate in the Earth grade battle because he has broken through the Yuan Dan intermediate stage. Sigh. When Deng Chen said this, his face was filled with a gloating smile. He looked very happy. Hearing Deng Chen's words, Lin Tang immediately snorted and ignored Deng Chen. His biggest regret was that Mo Qingyun's cultivation had broken through to the Yuan Dan intermediate stage and was unable to participate in the new generation battle. Now, Deng Chen had to mention this point. This was simply touching a sore spot. At this moment, in the fighting ring, the Scarlet Flame Dragon Martial Soul appeared. Soul change. Mo Qingyun walked out of the array and did not waste time talking nonsense with Deng He. He directly summoned his martial soul and instantly entered the half-soul change state. Bird of Prey break. After entering the half-soul change state, Mo Qingyun moved and attacked Deng He at an extremely fast speed. At this moment, Mo Qingyun did not hold back and directly released the Wind Ultimacy to perfection. With the support of the Wind Ultimacy to perfection, Mo Qingyun's speed instantly reached the extreme. His body flashed like a meteor and instantly appeared in front of Deng He. So fast. Seeing Mo Qingyun's speed, Deng He's face twitched. He was shocked by Mo Qingyun's speed. While Deng He was still in shock, Mo Qingyun had already thrown a punch at him. A terrifying origin energy exploded from Mo Qingyun's hand and blasted directly at Deng He's face. Retreat. Seeing Mo Qingyun's punch, Deng He's face twitched again. He quickly retreated and wanted to avoid Mo Qingyun's punch. You want to retreat? Seeing through Deng He's thoughts, Mo Qingyun's smile immediately became wider. He sneered and said, "Your reaction is too slow. Gravity suppression." After Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he released the sevenfold Earth Ultimacy and exerted a terrifying pressure on Deng He. Sevenfold Earth Ultimacy. Feeling the enormous pressure on his body, Deng He was immediately shocked, and a strong sense of panic appeared on his face. Then, Deng He's legs turned to jelly. He staggered and almost fell under the gravity suppression. Deng He's speed was not as fast as Mo Qingyun, who had comprehended the wind ultimacy. Now that he was being suppressed by the gravity suppression, his speed was greatly reduced. In the blink of an eye, Mo Qingyun caught up with him. Mo Qingyun caught up with Deng He and did not show any mercy. His fist landed directly on Deng He's face. Bang! A muffled sound was heard. Then, Deng He's nose caved in and blood gushed out from his nose. After receiving Mo Qingyun's powerful punch, Deng He did not hesitate and instinctively kicked at Mo Qingyun. Spear Hall, don't tell me you cultivate leg techniques? Seeing Deng He's kick, Mo Qingyun revealed a mocking smile. He raised his hand and pinched Deng He's ankle. Chapter 433. What was the name of this coquettish move? As soon as Lin Tang said this, everyone in the central square immediately revealed a shocked expression. They never thought that Lin Tang, as a palace master, would do something like this. When Mo Qingyun heard Lin Tang's words, he was also shocked. He smiled and said, "Master, this move is called the wind-fire wheel." When Mo Qingyun finished speaking, he loosened his right hand and threw Deng He out. Bang! With Mo Qingyun's throw, Deng He was thrown out of the fighting ring. He fell to the ground like a pile of cow dung and couldn't get up for a long time. Seeing this scene, everyone immediately sighed in their hearts, and the way they looked at Mo Qingyun changed. They secretly sighed at how ruthless Mo Qingyun was. From now on, Deng He would never be able to wash away the humiliation he had suffered in the Hidden Dragon Institute. When everyone was sighing in their hearts, Lin Tang heard Mo Qingyun's words and waved his hand. "Hey, your move is so flashy, so how can you use such a cliché name? In my opinion, your previous move should be called Invincible Under the Heavens, overturning heaven and earth, and face-slapping Windfire Wheel. As for the next move, it should be called Sloppy Flying Heavens, throwing Dead Dog with Sword. Invincible Overturning Heaven and Earth, and face-slapping Firestorm Wheels? The frivolous flying sword throwing Dead Dog?" When Lin Tang said this, everyone didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Their emotions were complicated. Was this what a palace master should do? Was this still the solemn and dignified palace master in everyone's eyes? When everyone didn't know whether to laugh or cry at Lin Tang's actions, Lin Tang smiled brightly and said to Deng Chun, "Palace Master Deng Chun, I know that you are knowledgeable. What do you think of the two names I came up with?" Bang! When Deng Chun heard Lin Tang's words, he heard the sound of a slap. It was as if he had been slapped hard by Lin Tang. Deng Chen's old face turned red. He smiled and said, "The names are not bad. They are very cool." Seeing Deng Chen's deflated expression, Lin Tang was secretly pleased. A bright smile appeared on his face, and the more he looked at Mo Qingyun, the more satisfied he was. This disciple was not bad. She did not embarrass him. On the Earth Tournament stage, after severely injuring Deng He and throwing him out of the arena, Mo Qingyun revealed a cold expression. He looked at the remaining two members of the Spear Hall and said, "Do you want to get out of the arena on your own? Or do you want me to do it myself and throw the two of you out like I threw Deng He? Let's leave the fighting stage by ourselves." Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the two Spear Hall members' faces twitched, and they hurriedly jumped off the battle stage. The memory of Deng He's miserable state was still fresh in their minds. They didn't want to endure such treatment. Chapter 434. After which, Mo Qingyun raised his head and looked coldly at the cloud platform of the poison hall. On the cloud platform of the poison hall, when Lung Hui saw Mo Qingyun looking at him, he flashed a pleased smile at Mo Qingyun. Mo Qingyun, what do you think of my first gift to you? Lung Hui said proudly. His expression turned cold as he continued. Next, I will have even more gifts for you. I guarantee that you won't stop enjoying them. Haha. Hearing those words, Mo Qingyun's gaze turned colder. He said coldly, Don't worry, I will also prepare a few gifts for you. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, Lung Hui smiled nonchalantly and said, If that's the case, I would like to see what kind of gift you have prepared for me. I hope that you won't disappoint me. I will definitely not disappoint you. Mo Qingyun smiled brilliantly. After replying to Lung Hui, he no longer paid any attention to him. He turned to Wang Kai and said, Senior brother Wang Kai, give me a list of all the Jade Peak Hall students participating in the Academy Grand Competition. When Mo Qingyun said those words, an intense cold intent emanated from his body. Junior Mo, you intend to. Sensing the cold intent emanating from Mo Qingyun, the duo's expression changed. They could guess what Mo Qingyun was thinking. From Mo Qingyun's current behavior, he was intending to exact revenge on the Jade Peak Hall in the upcoming battle. After realizing this, the duo's expression changed drastically. They exclaimed, Junior Mo, you mustn't be rash. Severely injuring another disciple in the Academy's grand tournament is the biggest taboo in the Academy. Seeing the duo's reaction, Mo Qingyun smiled faintly and said, You don't have to worry. I won't lose my rationality and do something like that. Hearing Mo Qingyun's words, the duo's expression turned for the better. After persuading Mo Qingyun for a while, they handed over the list of participating members of the Jade Peak Hall to Mo Qingyun. From today onwards, the Jade Peak Hall no longer needs to exist. Looking at the list of members of the Jade Peak Hall in his hand, Mo Qingyun's lips curled into a cold smile as he made a decision in his heart. At this moment, while Mo Qingyun and the others were talking, the second round of the first round of the elimination battle began. Just like that, the rest of the time passed like that. After several hours, the first round of the elimination battle finally ended. 90% of the branch halls were eliminated. What surprised Mo Qingyun was that even though Lu Fangliang and the others encountered some trouble due to Lung Hui's interference, they still managed to advance to the second round. But apart from the surprise, what made Mo Qingyun feel somewhat helpless was that several students of the Win Hall's junior class had been eliminated in the first round of the elimination battle. Second match, Soul Hall's Lu Fangliang versus Puppet Hall's Ban Xiao. Third match, Pill Hall's Wang Zishu versus Flower Hall's Igor. At this moment, the information of the battles of the students from the various halls appeared clearly on the 3 stone walls. It seems that the people from Carefree Pavilion are all at the top of the list. Looking at the battle information on the 3 battle rolls, Mo Qingyun was slightly stunned. He was a little surprised by this result. After a short moment of surprise, Mo Qingyun stopped thinking about it and returned to the cloud platform of the Wind Hall. When Mo Qingyun returned to the cloud platform of the Wind Hall, he immediately noticed that Wang Kai and Yi Wuyo were looking at him with strange gazes. Seeing this, Mo Qingyun showed a puzzled expression and asked, What's wrong? Are your opponents very strong? In Mo Qingyun's opinion, the reason why Wang Kai and Yi Wuyo had such expressions was probably because their opponents were too strong, causing them to be worried. However, to Mo Qingyun's surprise, Wang Kai and Yi Wuyo shook their heads and said, Junior Mo, do you know who your opponent is? Chess Hall's know-it-all. What's wrong? Hearing their conversation, Mo Qingyun immediately revealed a puzzled expression, and he asked a doubtful question. He didn't feel that there was anything wrong with his opponent. Seeing that Mo Qingyun was still puzzled, Wang Kai and Yi Wuyo's expressions changed, and they asked, Junior Mo, do you know where know-it-all is ranked on the Earth Roll? Seeing Wang Kai and Yi Wuyo's expressions, Mo Qingyun frowned slightly and asked tentatively, Is know-it-all ranked first In Mo Qingyun's opinion, Wang Kai and Yi Wuyo's expressions were probably because know-it-all was stronger than Deng He. Although know-it-all isn't ranked first, he's ranked second. The specks of starlight connected to each other, forming a lightning sword net that cut off the opponent's escape route. Good sword art. Seeing Yi Wuyo make a move, Leng Hui praised Yi Wuyo. With a faint smile on his face, he said, Leng Hui, lack a woman like you by my side. Wuyo, you should just follow me. Venomous wolf swallows the sun. Leng Hui's body soared into the sky. A surge of black origin energy exploded from his body and turned into a sinister wolf figure. Roar. The moment the wolf figure appeared, it howled towards the sky and opened its mouth to swallow the snowflake sword radiance. As the wolf figure swallowed the sword radiance, the sky instantly changed colors and the vision dimmed. It was as if the sun and moon had disappeared. Following that, Yi Wuyo's attack was neutralized by Leng Hui's attack. Looking at this scene, Yi Wuyo's expression changed. She revealed an unyielding expression and once again charged towards Leng Hui with her sword. However, with her mid-stage Yuan Dan realm cultivation, it was still extremely difficult for her to defeat Leng Hui, who was a half-step into the Pill Palace realm. It seems like Senior Wuyo won't be able to win this battle. Looking at the battle between Yi Wuyo and Leng Hui, Mo Qingyun shook his head and sighed in his heart. Mo Qingyun sighed and turned to look at the human-grade battle stage to watch the battle between Long Yutian and Chen Huan. Long Yutian's battle was the exact opposite of Yi Wuyo's battle. Just like the Pill Hall's disciples, most of them weren't good at fighting. Now that Chen Huan was facing Long Yutian, who specialized in defense, it was like a candle smashing into a rock. At this moment, on the Human Division's battle stage, Chen Huan swung his wooden pestle at Long Yutian, scattering all kinds of strange herbs. These medicinal herbs harnessed a bizarre medicinal energy that would induce all kinds of adverse reactions upon inhaling it. It was similar to the poison powder of the Poison Hall. The only difference was that the medicinal energy of these herbs wasn't as sinister as the Poison Hall's poison powder. Senior brother, thank you for your gift. I've been refining medicinal wine recently, and I'm lacking a few herbs. Seeing Chen Huan make a move, Long Yutian smiled heartily and thanked Chen Huan. After that, Long Yutian took out his wine flask and tossed it into the air, causing wine to splash out. As soon as the wine appeared, it mixed with Chen Huan's herbs and neutralized Chen Huan's attack. Keep. After neutralizing Chen Huan's attack, Long Yutian laughed heartily. He spun the wine flask in his hand and quickly collected the herbs and wine in the air back into the wine flask. Then, Long Yutian held the wine flask in his hand and poured it into his mouth. He laughed heartily and said, "Mixing herbs with wine and singing while drunk. How long is life? Senior brother, let's fight again."